Sir. What's going on, everybody? It's another great episode of the D.B.A.B. podcast with your boy Curtin. We got Benny Blaze here. We got Cletus. Jack's going to join us here shortly. He's been doing his thing. We'll talk about that when he hops on. And we got a special guest. But remember, you can find our podcast anywhere podcasts can be found. Apple, Spotify, all the above. We're on YouTube. We're on X, formerly known as Twitter. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, the listeners and the group here is our special guest. We're going to get a 2-for-1. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the fray.
Yo!
Let's
Hey!
go!
And Kinsley. Kinsley's here.
Kinsley's the star of the show, baby. Let's go!
Kinsley's here. Cobbs, you look old as shit right now.
Thanks, man. I feel old as shit. Appreciate it.
That's that dadism coming on.
Uh,
I saw Taylor there for a little bit, so shout out Taylor. Shout out Mama Bear.
Yeah,
over
she's
there.
right here.
So, shout out Mama Bear.
Taylor!
Hey! Let's go. Awesome. It's great to have almost a full crew here. Missing Adam, which probably Adam won't show up, but we'll see how he pops on or whatnot. But fellas, again, always appreciate you being on the show tonight. I think we're going to have some good topics. We're going to talk about, a lot of stuff going on in the NFL, obviously the playoffs, all the coaching carousel that's going on, the rumors of where people are going, the interviews that are going on. Of course, you talk about, I'm always a big follower of college football, especially now there's been some massive shakeups. I know last week we touched upon it with Saban, all that good stuff, but kind of some of the trickle effect there and all those stuff that's going on. And then what else is popping up that we're going to talk about in our minds. So it's great to have y'all here to be able to talk ball and just catch up. And, I know some of us a lot of us aren't really busy at the moment, but some of us are about to be getting busy with baseball, right? So Kinsley's going to have her first action of baseball going on.
Oh,
And then
does she have a jersey, Cobbs? Does she have a jersey ready?
She doesn't have she's got some tarot onesies and stuff.
Does she have a jersey? That's
No,
tarot onesie.
She ain't got a jersey. She ain't got a jersey yet, but that's
Gosh,
the plan.
Coming.
Dude, it's hard to buy a jersey for her because she grows so fast. So then she grows out
That's
of it.
true. That's right.
You got to get something get something a size or two up, so it might be
Yeah,
a little baggy, but she'll grow into it. So by the end of the
exactly.
season, she might fill it out. So
yeah. Good thing is she's tiny, so she can fit in tiny clothes still.
yeah, well,
There you go.
Oh.
look at, yeah, there you go. Yeah, let's go. You know what I mean? So great times. It's great to see our little Kinsley for the first time.
Yeah.
She's such a precious little angel there. So I'm glad that the viewers
Those freaking cheeks.
also get to see her too. So make sure you tune in, watch the actual. Don't listen to just the recording. Go check it on YouTube so you get to see the beautiful baby. So, but obviously, like I said, we got baseball coming up. We got track starting here soon, which I'm kind of excited about to get that going.
You haven't started
powerlifting. I feel like it's.
Josh is the head junior high track coaching.
No, I'm not doing
You don't
that.
know that?
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, you are.
Nah,
I talked to your boss.
nah. I'm doing varsity. I don't even know what we're doing. I feel like it's so it's chaotic and kind of a cluster, but it'll all work itself out, man.
Hey, you know what junior high track is?
Come run
Especially that and herding kittens.
Oh, that's different.
Herding kittens.
Herding
I
kittens.
don't know. I think I heard it all. I think I heard it all when Jack starts talking.
That's junior high track right there in a nutshell. It's herding kittens.
I can't wait. I think we're gonna start. We're gonna start here pretty soon and get that ball rolling. I know we got some pretty good kids that are looking forward to it. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be our first time getting out there and track and coaching all that stuff up. So I'm excited for that new opportunity and stuff. And of course,
when y'all start track?
I think he's talked about not this coming week, but the next week, like that Monday. Because right now we're in our 4-day week, so it's gonna be coming not a lot of time. But it'll be good, man. I'm excited.
Got you a 5-day week?
We don't got another 5-day week until April now.
Oh wow!
Heck yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I need
That's
one of
gonna be
those.
nice, man.
Need
It's gonna
that.
be nice. It's gonna be nice. Like we've had the last 2 Mondays off, and then it's gonna be flipping and having the Fridays off. So it's gonna be nice. So, but anywho, it's gonna be exciting. It's exciting just to get back to coaching something. It's been nice to have time off, but kind of ready to do something besides drive a bus. You know what I mean? So
You know what the great thing about track is, honestly, too? You can freaking talk ball
all the
in middle
time.
of track.
yeah.
It's awesome. You can network and talk ball. It is freaking
yes,
awesome.
for sure. Hey,
That's
I
my
mean,
goal. That's my goal. I'm gonna try to break out my shell, just like I'm gonna try to do at clinics. Dude. I'm gonna try to break out my shell, talk
it's not
ball.
hard,
Just
man.
Hey,
what field event are you coaching?
Hasn't been nailed down yet. We've talked about it briefly,
Hurdles.
but I think one of them was like long jump.
Okay, so just find the long jump coach through the trap meetings. Talk to those guys.
Yeah, of course.
Stand
Yeah.
there. Hey, stand there with your clipboard, right? There's two things you got to know. Stand there with your clipboard. You don't really have to say much. And make sure you, when you get on the runway, right, you get your mark and you reel up your tape measure real fast. Like, I'm not sharing mine.
All right.
hey, I felt like the old coach this past weekend.
Uh-oh.
Dude, so I went to baseball coach school, or whatever you want to call it.
Oh, how was that in Waco?
Dude, it was pretty good. What?
Oh, it's in Waco.
No, dude. So it's still in Kalahari Resorts up in Round Rock this year. But
Okay.
they announced. All right, cool. They announced that we're going back to Waco next year, so everybody's excited
nice.
about that. Yeah, so I'm
Heck yeah,
excited finally
that's
going
awesome.
back to Waco. But dude, I feel like the old coach. Like I knew a lot of people. You know, like I met a bunch of people now. We're this is what my second district that I've been in with different coaches. You know, new coaches moving and stuff like that. So I've met some people. Hey, and then what really made me feel old was where's it at? There it is. What really made me feel old was that I was standing there talking with one of the coaches I knew, and this kid walks by, and he's a coach. I guess he's a coach now, but this kid walked by and hit me on the chest, and said, "Hey, Cody," and I was like, "Who the hell's calling me Cody?" Because everybody says coach around here, and I look up, and it's a kid that graduated 5 years after my brother graduated, which was 2 years younger than me, and he's coaching now, and I was like, "Damn, I feel old."
You want to really feel old? Have one of your former players coach, and you run into him at a basketball game. That happened. I think I texted y'all that happened to me this year. Freaking kid I coached when he was a freshman, sophomore at Hale Center. My first job is freaking the head boys basketball coach at Hale Center now, and they're playing in our basketball our tournament. And I look up and I'm like, oh mother freak, holy crap! It is. That was I feel freaking old moment right there
Bet.
when one of the kids I coached when he was a freaking freshman in high school is coaching now.
Hey, boys, we're getting up at that time, man. We're getting up at
I know.
for real.
It's just it's crazy.
Like
All right,
today
boys.
was.
Say bye to Kinsley. She's gonna go take a bath.
See you, Kins.
Bad time, bye, girl.
Bye
See
bye,
you, Kinsley.
Bye bye, K-Boo.
Bye.
But,
K-Boo. She has a freaking name.
well,
Dude,
I'm
she's
gonna
got a
give
lot
her
of nicknames.
I'm gonna give her.
Dude, my
That's
brother
gonna be my nickname from Uncle Josh's K-Boo.
I like it.
K-Boo.
My brother calls her Kaylin, so
Yeah, I
Kaylin.
feel like I'm just gonna mess up Kinsley too much. Like I'm terrible with names. So.
that's all right. She'll know. She'll know who you are.
Yeah. But today was kind of one of those realizations of kind of being realizing shit, I'm getting old because I was talking to our tennis coach. He's kind of a young guy. I was talking to him and it's like, when did you graduate? He's like 2012, and I was just God dang, it's like half our coaching staff is younger than me, and it's just like, man, I remember being, I'm sure we all
You remember being the young guy?
Yeah, for real.
How about this one? One of our young coaches on staff, he graduated in 2014. I could have coached him. I could have coached him in high school. I could have coached him.
Hey,
in high school.
One of our kids graduated high school in 2015.
We got
one of our coaches.
We got something like that with 14.
Yeah, yeah, man, it's.
But it is what it is. You get in the game. You get in the game long enough. That's just stuff. It just happens. We're gonna be looking back. In X amount of years to look back and be, next thing you know, we're gonna be the oldest dudes on staff. You know what I mean? So,
yeah. Be like,
had an old coach.
Be like, hey, young buck, I've already done that. You go do it.
Yeah.
Had an
we're
old
all
coach.
How funny would it be? We're all.
Time.
Yeah. Ironic. It's gonna be we're all gonna be on the same staff, and it's all. We're all separated by a couple of years, and then it's just like, Cobbs
we're all going to look at each other. When something needs to be done, we're going to look at each other and be like, well, which old ass is getting on? Which old person is getting on his ass today?
Yep. We'll have that one. We'll literally have that one or two young guys on staff that just catches all the shit. You know what I mean?
Gotta give it to him.
Imagine the poor soul that has to deal with it from Jack. You know what I mean? Oh, I can't wait for it. I'm just gonna be sitting back in my chair, popcorn. Get him, get him.
I wouldn't talk to you like, I wouldn't let him talk to me like that.
yeah. Step up for yourself, sir. You're dominant.
Let your nuts drop.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Oh,
So what do you
we're-
think? Yes or no?
Yes or no? Well,
He ain't
we're
gonna fire you.
standing behind Jack, saying all that.
He ain't gonna fire you.
He loves new ideas that totally contradict his. Just keep going.
Oh,
Oh man, it's great to just be here with y'all and just be able to catch up. Obviously, Cobbs has been a minute, but obviously we understand that you've been Daddy Cobbs,
Dude,
for
5 months now.
You make it, Benny?
Yeah. I mean,
Dude,
I got 4 dogs here.
Dude, it's crazy. It's been 5 months.
They're all here.
She's a little over 5 months now.
Is she really?
Yeah, dude. Freaking
That is.
what? January 4th, 3rd.
Yeah. Oh
Time is
crap, man.
flying.
That is crazy.
Yeah, dude. It's wild. Like I was telling Blaze the other day. I was like, man, like I don't feel like it's been that long ago that we literally were just in the hospital.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's at the beginning of football season. That's the whole football
Dude,
season.
it's been it's definitely a learning curve, boys.
Oh, for sure. Oh.
You should see our house right now. Like our living room. Yeah, you might as well forget about that. It's just baby stuff everywhere.
Right.
Dude, we got a whole playpen in here that's like easily 4 by 5.
Yeah. I don't worry. You'll be better prepared for when number 2 comes and stuff.
Yeah, I ain't doing that right now. Not right this
Oh
second.
no.
Just wait till she starts walking, then that's when like the real like tears will fall, and you're just like, stop growing up on me.
Yeah, for real. I know. I was talking about the other day because she has one of those like walker things, like the little, I don't know, like, they sit in, it's got little toys on, they can wheel around places. And like she'll go backwards, but she can't go like a lot of places yet just because she's not big enough. And I was like, dang, like I haven't even baby proof the house. Like she gonna stick something in the socket, like something's gonna happen. So I gotta baby proof the house at some point.
Right.
Get on that. About to get
That's
to that
gonna be a
age of
nightmare.
exploration soon. So
And it's gonna piss you off because you're gonna try to open like a drawer or something in a hurry,
guaranteed.
and then going, that's good.
Yep. It's gonna be the middle of the night, something stupid. Oh yeah.
It's just gonna piss you off.
But yeah, I haven't been on the pod, but I've been listening. I've been listening every week.
Let's go, man. Go. Of
I hadn't
course,
listened
Proud of
last,
you.
I hadn't
One of
listened
them-
last week though. I've
one
been
of the-
listening to Cleet give some awful takes.
Awful.
You
I don't know
know,
about awful. They're
and then
out there.
what was the one podcast? What was the one episode where who was it? Jack got pissed off at somebody, or y'all got him heated about something?
That's you just mentioned the damn Cowboys or
Yeah, I don't remember which one it was. He got heated about something. It was pretty funny.
That's the whole podcast right there, man.
I was in my truck laughing.
Easy to get triggered and get going. So, but obviously we're going to talk about it. Maybe we'll wait on that. To talk about the boys when
or
Jack
not.
pops
We
on.
ain't gotta talk about them. I mean,
we got to
Yeah,
talk
we do.
about it, man. We got to talk about it, especially the big news that came down today that there's going to be no change in leadership. Kind of switch gears here.
we
switch
them
gears.
boys.
You know what I mean? Obviously,
Hold on.
we'll talk a little bit more about when Jack gets on because I know he's going to want to
Making
throw
noise.
his 2 cents in there and all that fun stuff. But so far, last weekend we had our first the rounds of the playoff and the wild card and stuff like that. Obviously, there were some games in there that shocked a lot of us in terms of how the games.
Whoa. Some games
Yeah, hey.
there's like one good game the whole freaking weekend.
Well, I mean, like shocked in terms of like how the game played out. You know what I mean? So like, obviously, we look back and we'll start off in Kansas City where the weather was absolutely freezing. They came out with news today that there were 15 people that were treated in the hospital for
I saw that.
hypothermia or frostbite. You know what I mean? Like, what do you expect? There's like negative 30 degrees out there, and you have people with shirts off and stuff. So somebody was bound to get fucked up somehow and whatnot. So that game was watching it was kind of a bit of a letdown. Kind of vicariously, I was cheering for the Dolphins because that's my dad's team, and growing up watching tons of Dolphin games, you kind of have a little bit of a soft heart for them. But it was just they had no chance. And of course, the Chiefs were so wishy-washy all season. Of course, the playoff come and it's just like it's a different animal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Played against Mahomes and Reed and them. So like I felt like the Dolphins never really had a chance in that game, based on their injuries and stuff like that. Playing in Arrowhead in the weather, they were never won a game. that was super cold. That trend
Yeah, but that's
continues.
hey,
So,
that's their fault for not clinching it and beating Buffalo when they should have.
Oh,
the way they
100%.
ended the season was
Yeah.
like, even the one game they lost to the Titans, like, shout out to the Tennessee Titans, but being up.
No shout out. No
Hey,
shout
that
out
news.
them.
Well,
That news came
No.
out too. We
At
Do
got
that
not
news
moment,
shout
about the
out
that
Titans
moment,
today
Do
too.
not
Some of
shout out
some-
them. Those losers.
We got news about the Titans today too.
We did.
What-
I don't.
Yeah, Henry said, "Hey, Derrick Henry said he's not retiring, but he's looking to go somewhere he can win a Super Bowl."
Yeah, I
We
don't
all-
blame
we-
him.
I
That's in
think-
Dallas. Like he trades in Dallas.
Oh,
I
so
think
Well,
everybody knew that he's going to be bouncing.
so two things. The Kelsey, the New Heights podcast, I started
Yeah.
listening to that today. Travis started talking about that game, the Kansas City game, and kind of went to the Jason stuff. I have yet to listen to Busting with the Boys. Derrick Henry is on that podcast.
Ooh,
Yeah.
And
But I think it's common
think they-
knowledge that he's
the
going to be.
preview is
Yeah.
they went pretty deep.
really?
Yeah. So
Well,
I
he
want
talked- Well, the thing I saw, it said that obviously he wants out. Like he wants to go win a Super Bowl, go somewhere he win a Super Bowl, and they said the number one spot that everybody keeps talking about is the Cowboys because he's got ties with Dallas and Cowboys.
Well, I think his girl's from Texas, or
He
Yeah,
trains
something-
here. I've seen
he
videos.
trains in Texas. Like,
yeah, he trains in Texas. I know that.
Go ahead, Ben.
so
Pretty sure his son goes to like Dallas Carter.
Yeah, something
Like
crazy.
something like that.
It seems like just kind of like a logical fit. It's kind of a need for the Cowboys to get a little bit more of a, everybody, obviously a lot of people can agree. Like when it was Zeke and Pollard kind of like outshone him a little bit, but that's because Zeke was kind of doing all like the heavy lifting, if you will, and then when it was kind of Pollard's time to run the show, you kind of saw his limitations and that he wasn't truly the feature back that the Cowboys need. So I think if you were to add like a Henry to the mix, now of course I think he might be somewhat
How-
past his prime, but he's still I think somebody that can give you, another
But-
weapon, if you will.
how much
Yeah,
you're gonna have to pay him though?
Well,
That's the thing with
I don't-
Dallas
but-
is how much you what's the salary going to have to be?
Yeah, but I don't think. I mean, since he is past his prime a little bit, and he does have ties, I think that helps with your salary. Like I think it helps with not having to pay him too much.
Yeah.
But to go along with him being in his prime, having Pollard behind him, kind of like Zeke, helps with taking the toll off his body because he is older.
Yeah, true. And
You can
the
spell it.
Cowboys, they could have somewhat of a leverage or whatever with deal making. Like I know Henry's going to want his money, but at the same time, like there's going to get to a point where some of those guys, like we've seen it before, where they kind of forego the money to a certain degree, a certain percentage, in return that they want to be on a team that's going to give them
Well,
a better percentage. Now, obviously you look at the Cowboys, like every year they show great promise, and then we saw on Sunday that it always gets bottomed out, but they do present a better opportunity than staying in Tennessee.
we say he's past his prime, but he was second in the NFL in rushing
Yeah, that's
with
what's
1167.
You know,
Yeah,
and tell me I'm wrong, because I don't pay attention to Titans, but I would have to say their offensive line is probably not the best, is it?
Real young.
Yeah.
Has some decent little pieces, but they're just super young, really inexperienced. But it seemed like they had a different group starting every week. Like somebody was either hurt or was battling through an injury, and so it wasn't. It's not the best unit they've had, and that was probably one of the weak points of that team. It was the offensive line.
Yeah, and what's crazy is he was number 2 in the league in rushing. Think about if he goes to he gets a group up
Just
front
a decent,
that's
a
decent.
decent
Like
group.
that's good. They know what's going on. They're tough. They've been doing it. They're experienced. Think about that. How much that dude
Oh,
can
100%.
shoot up big time.
It may be like Derrick Henry 2018 where he led the NFL in rushing, and I mean, hell, I'm rooting for Derrick Henry. Wherever he goes, I hope he has a good career. I really do. Like I said, hope he goes somewhere to win a ring because he
think
deserves he's one of those guys. I think he deserves a ring. He needs to get on a team.
He's gonna end up in a good spot because he's gonna
I
have
think so too.
he's gonna have his choice of suitors. Like if he wants to go
Yeah.
to a team that's a Super Bowl caliber team, there's quite a few in the league right now that would, I think, if Derrick Henry called and said, "Hey, I want to be an X," I want to be a Raven. I want to be a 49. Well, maybe not 49,
Baltimore
but I want to be,
He's scary.
a Cowboy
with
or
that
whatever.
offense.
I think a lot of teams are not going to be like, no, we're good. We don't need you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like even a team like the Rams, which if he came and said, hey, I want to be a Ram, and they can make it work, like I would take it as a Ram.
Downhill
You know what I
running.
mean? So I would take it.
Who's
And it might even
Yeah,
have.
but y'all got y'all, dude.
yeah, Kyron Williams.
Kyron
Is that
Williams,
Yeah,
dude.
but again, that's like a change of pace. Like, I mean,
I agree. Yeah.
He was, by the way, third in the NFL in rushing.
thumping.
Kyron Williams.
Yeah, could
I
you
like
imagine that?
imagine like hey, and we're just gonna speak hypothetical right now, and I'm gonna be a little biased with the Rams. Like obviously, like say they bring him to LA and he's a Ram. Like imagine having to like Kyron's kind of like they're not the same type of back, but Kyron's a downhill. He's a physical guy. He's gonna run you over, tough to tackle. Just like Henry is, and some of those characteristics. Henry obviously he's just a bigger guy, stronger guy, but like having those two guys wear you down, and then on top of that having their passing game with Stafford and Cup and Puka and all those guys. Like, obviously when you speak hypothetically, and you can plug that situation into put him with the Ravens, ugh, dirty, right? I would even say if you put him with the Cowboys, like I think that helps. Like he helps the Cowboys, but he also helps people like a Dak. You know what I mean? Because like
Yep.
I don't think Pollard was a nice compliment to Dak because Pollard wasn't able to be a consistent guy that they could give the ball to, and this guy could go to work. If that makes sense, And
Yep.
of
Well,
course,
it's going to help CD more.
Yes. Like,
for
Instant-
sure.
Yeah.
like think about it. Dak had to throw the ball over 50 times on Sunday.
That's crazy to me when I
Like,
saw
that's
that
ridiculous.
stat.
But then you didn't run. They ran the ball like what, maybe 15 times tops, and that's
Yeah.
with Dak running the ball, 3, 4, 5 times. Like you put Derrick Henry with that, and now you make them actually freaking adjust to the run. Like it helps him out making easy throws where we know that he can't make the hard throws.
Yeah, for sure. It's gonna be interesting. Obviously we're gonna have our eyes on that development to see because is it going to be now again? It's gonna be a cleat question because obviously he's the insider there for the Titans, but is it going
No.
to have to be a
Formerly.
sign? Is it a
Formerly
yes,
Titans, sir.
former
Free
Chef
agent.
for the
He's a
Titans.
former
I'm
Titan
a
insider.
free agent. I'm a free
Former
agent,
a
sir.
former Titan insider. But anyways,
I'm so
is
tired of those
he
I'll
is
sign
he
you
a,
for a
he's
12
a
pack.
free agent, correct? Is Henry
Yeah,
he's
he's
a
a
free
free agent. Yeah,
Okay.
they had the option. That's the thing, though. Again, the fucking I hate the Titans and what they do sometimes and what they did sometimes. Again, they could have traded him like middle of the year.
Yeah.
Could have traded him and got something for Derrick Henry,
Right.
draft pick, something, but they're gonna let him walk.
That's a big boo boo. That's almost like the Angels not trading
What the
Otani and then not
Yeah.
motherfucker walking. You know what I
Stupid.
mean, like just like I know the Angels
Dude.
tried to switch gears a little bit about baseball, but like I know they tried to keep a hold of him, but at that time, like there's a good chance you're not keeping him. Just
Well,
trade him for
well,
trade him for a mansion. You know what I mean?
they
I
should have
hope-
known better. They don't have the money to because they already sunk it in the trout.
Yeah. Anyway,
I hope the Dodgers crash and burn. I really do.
I do.
I
Yeah,
hope they
It'd be
freaking.
nice.
I hope the Giants go and win that division.
It'd be pretty epic. Or the
Yeah.
Padres.
Yeah.
Oh, I would freaking love. I would laugh my ass
Now,
off.
speaking real quick of baseball, I am excited and I can't wait for baseball to be back because, with football about to be done, I'm okay with basketball, but I don't really watch NBA until playoffs, like NBA finals, but I'm ready for some baseball. Now, I'm super excited that I can't wait to go to some Stars game. I need to line that up.
Dude. Hey, I went to my first Stars game.
How was that, by the way?
Dude, it was like probably the best thing I've ever been to. Like
Oh, I bet.
atmosphere, dude, like the best atmosphere, hands down.
Oh, I bet.
Everybody's
Benny-
like friendly. Everybody's fun. Like everybody's up screaming, hollering the whole time. Like dude,
Oh,
it
I
was
bet.
so great.
I just want to go and have some, some drinks and just
Dude,
chill and get rowdy and just have a great
hey,
time.
whenever everybody comes down, let's go.
We need to go. Benny, you ever been to a hockey game?
Yes, I went one time, but I didn't sit where Cody did. But still, like the people were real nice. Like I sat next to this guy, basically sitting in his lap, and he was like, "Oh, you know, like this is what this is, and this what," and I was like, "Appreciate that. Hey, is that your cell phone?" But like, it was cool.
Dude, so like talking about being friendly and like fun, like obviously everybody's hollering, like there's people there. They played the Wild, I think, that night when we went. And so there was people there that had Wild jerseys on, and like Dallas would score, they'd all turn to him like, yeah, like screaming at them, and they would start laughing, have fun, whatever. But they were like, it was fun banter, like nobody was getting mad. But
we're
then,
gonna say it right. We're gonna say it right now on the show, right? And of course, I'm sure Jack's gonna be involved. But we need to line it up. We need to get Cleat over here to the east side of Texas. To the DFW area, right? We need to line this up. We need to all go to the game, be part of our boys' weekend or whatever you want to call it. We need to go, and then we need to repeat it when baseball starts again to go see the Rangers play. We need to make this a yearly thing. Like every year, we come together, we go watch Stars, we go watch Rangers. Let's make it happen.
And we have a podcast night.
And we have podcasts. We'll have a
all
podcast
together in the same room.
We'll have it before, like it'll be like on a day where we can get over there early. We'll make a little episode before we go to the game, go to it, enjoy it, all that good stuff, man. So we're putting it out there. We're putting it out there into the universe. It's gonna happen some way, somehow. That it's gonna happen. But
you're gonna get us all in the same room. It's gonna happen.
Eventually,
that's the dream. That's the dream is that we can do this. That we can do this show to our listeners. This is our ultimate goal, right? Is that if this thing ever takes off and we can make it our living, I would be happy with that. Just to get up here and just talk sports all day. But our ultimate goal is that one day that we're all going to be in the same room to record this stuff. Even one time, like I would be like the epitome right now of our show, just like all in the same room at one time, just going off.
Hey,
a blast.
Hey, Cody, and I'm answering this because you're the kind of college baseball guy. What are we down to? 30 days? Are we a month away? College baseball? Maybe maybe a little bit more.
Yeah, it's pretty close, like a month or so. Usually it's February sometime or the end of February, start of March kind of thing. They start scrimmaging though, like in February, I think.
Okay.
Getting there. We're getting there, baby. We're getting there.
You just don't hear much about the scrimmages because they don't matter, but
right.
Getting there. It's coming. It's coming. It's getting there. So anyways, go back to the NFL, right? So we talked about the Chiefs game. Obviously the Bills and Steelers were postponed till was it Monday they played, right?
Yeah.
I think they were playing
Monday.
Sunday and they played on Monday or whatever it was. What was Saturday?
That was that was impressive. The amount of snow. Yes.
Dude,
how they could play.
Dude, when I saw parts of that game and it looked like that stadium was like crystal clear, clean. Like you couldn't even tell that snow was there.
Like
it was
when
amazing.
The fans got there, it was just like, where'd that snow go?
It was amazing. But again, like those type of games, like I enjoy watching the Bills games when there's snow. It's always something about watching football games in the snow that's entertaining.
Right.
Just because of you don't know what you're gonna
get.
Yeah.
But that actually turned into a decent game on Monday between the Bills and Steelers. That was pretty decent. What was the other Saturday? It was the Chiefs, Miami, and then it's just that one, right?
Yeah, there's
or was there
every day?
Chiefs, Miami. It was the Eagles.
No, the Eagles were Monday. The
Rams were Monday.
It might have been just one.
Oh, was it? Was it Detroit?
Texans, Cleveland.
That was Texas.
Oh,
now talk about a game. Talk
Man.
about a game that was like really competitive, really good. I remember going back and forth. I think I was texting with Jack and just about because I was kind of on the Joe Flacco train. Based on how the end of the year, some good stuff for Cleveland. Kind of one of those franchises that's been in they just seem cursed. You know what I mean? And then good competitive game, and then just those back to back, or not really necessarily back to back, but like those picks that came back to back and that blew the game open. And next thing you know, Houston just cruised. Which, by the way, I'm sure we can all agree, CJ Stroud, stud.
Yeah, best pick, definitely great pick.
But again, I also want to give a lot of credit to I think is it D'Amico Ryan? Is that how you say his first name, right?
Yeah,
a lot of credit to him and what he's been able to do with that franchise compared to the last couple of years of just the turmoil and instability that's been there. But so shout out to Coach what he's been able to do there, and of course made a great pick with CJ Stroud, which he was kind of like my guy that I liked more than the others when we talked about the draft last April. So happy for Houston and what they've been able to do so far for that fan base and stuff. But for Cleveland, I kind of felt sorry for him. It was like one of those, a lot of promise and then kind of just ending in disaster, like it's typically done. For them.
They went through freaking 5 quarterbacks this year.
Mm-hmm.
Like that alone, in order to still get in the playoffs and win 11 games, is impressive.
Yeah, they, overall they had. I think they've had a great season. Like you alluded to, Cobbs with their quarterback situation. I think they
Nightmare.
went through like 3 or 4. What I mean, before Flacco finally literally came off the couch and helped lead them to the playoffs. And obviously, that's not the ending that they want. But I think they can look back and overall, and to win 11 games in the NFL is not an easy thing to do.
No.
Obviously, so there's some positives to build off of that. But and then, of course, when we go to Sunday, looking at the Sunday slate of games, obviously the one that everybody talked about, obviously he's not here yet, but I remember watching this. We were at our favorite watering hole here, and then watching that game unfold to where it's like the point was like 27-0, and then of course how the rest of it went. But just being, I remember being almost shell shocked at how bad the Cowboys played.
Yeah,
And
it was.
all the credit to the Packers. All the credit. They came out, you know, Jordan Love looked like the next reincarnation of a Brett Favre or an Aaron Rodgers in that quarterback lineage that they have. But, you know, Benny, I would like to hear your input here on that game. Obviously,
Yeah, no,
uh,
I mean, I watch it from my normal spot or whatever, and I was just kind of like, here we go. Why are we not going? What the shit's going on? What? Okay, he threw a pick. He threw a pick right to the guy, and then it was just like, all right, Cody, watch what's gonna happen. The Cowboys are they're gonna come back, and then they're gonna lose by a touchdown. Right? They're finally gonna get their woes out the way, and they're gonna get us back on the train, and then they're gonna lose by a touchdown. And then the final scores are not gonna look as bad, but we're gonna know what we just witnessed is not good. Is
but
that
but real quick on that one, would you have rather that game to have worked out to where the Cowboys come back and they lose at the end, or they would have rather had to be the game that you saw where it was never
well?
in doubt
I
that they were going to
I
lose?
feel like they were. I feel like that's what the game was, and then they but it was just like, oh, they didn't get the stop that they needed, and then but it's like, no, I seen you get your teeth kicked in. Like the Packers were kicking your teeth in. Like we never need to play the Packers in the playoffs. I'm almost to a point like, Dak, you're nice. You're a nice guy. It's not you, it's me, right? I need a playoff quarterback. You a nice guy. We like you, right? But we need playoff. We need a playoff type of guy. We don't need I need like a Mahomes. I need the Chiefs. In the regular season, but when it's playoff time, it's up to a new level.
Yeah,
It's almost like they have the yips for the playoffs.
I agree. And of course, if Jack was on, he would say Dak's the type of guy that he came out and he wanted the big boy money, right? He felt like he had done enough.
Got to win the
He
big boy
wanted
games.
that. He wanted that big boy money. The Cowboys kind of bowed to that, if you will, paid him the big boy money, and then return when the big games come. What are the results shown?
Yep.
He's not that guy. And I think Sunday was another example of that. Now, I don't think on Sunday. I think we can all agree, right, that on
Jay
Sunday
says
it
he's
wasn't
on
all
his
his.
way.
Pardon?
But I,
Jack says
but
he's
I
on.
think one thing that stood out to me and nobody really talks about it, really hasn't anyways, is CD's body language the whole game.
Oh, CD
Like
was not very good all game.
the dude, he wouldn't get the ball. You got to know, it's gonna be tough for you to get the ball. You're gonna draw everybody's best dude. Especially after the year you had. I mean, you had 1,700 yards or whatever the crap it was. You're gonna draw everybody's best dude. When you don't get the ball, that doesn't mean pout, throw your hands up, show bad body language, all that stuff either. And
But
nobody I
the
don't
ball,
know. That to me it was a bad look.
but the balls were okay, they weren't perfect balls, but he
Oh, but
stopped them.
yeah, they weren't the perfect balls. The one he threw a pick. I think he's trying to force it to CD because obviously CD's a dude. You want to get it to him. He wants the ball, all the whole nine. I get that. And we've seen Dak make that mistake plenty of times. But the one early in the game on the third down, he threw the comeback. It was to the right of his head. It wasn't great, but the ball went right through his hands. And any other day, every other Sunday, CD's gonna catch that.
Oh, let's go, puppy! Let's
And
go.
then he got, and CD's body
Like,
language got upset about it. Kind of threw his hands up, what the heck? Well, it's dude, that's a catchable ball for a dude that's making money you making.
Yeah, but CD, for me, CD, I guess the whole first half, it just seemed like he was out of it. I think he
Yes.
had 6 targets and had a couple drop balls and stuff like that. But
Yeah. I don't know. It was a
he
weird
wasn't
deal.
the CD he was the week before when he was
No.
catching everything and
Not at
all
all.
that stuff.
No.
All that. Oh, but check this out. Hey, check this perfect timing here. Everybody, welcome Jack. Let's
Oh!
go. What? Hey, Jack, before you say anything, baby,
Who's
before you say
that?
anything, yo,
Hey,
that's
who's
special
that?
guest, baby. Special
Yo!
guest. Let's go.
Yo,
Special guest,
look who
baby.
else.
Hey,
Wait,
Jack, first off,
Hey.
let's go. Let's go.
Kinsley's back.
I'm all
Yeah,
watched.
she's drooling everywhere.
I'm all watched up.
Let's go. She stayed up. She stayed up just a little bit later to see Uncle Jack. Let's go.
Yeah, she stayed up. She didn't want to go to sleep. She didn't want to nap.
When you find out all your uncles are really
Are
just
you
your dad's
confused?
cousin.
Yeah, that's every uncle sitting right there.
Let's go.
Hey,
One day you're going to be running the office and everybody's going to be in there. Every one of them.
Yes,
You'll be
sir.
running around the office. And guess what? I don't care if Jack's head coach or not. He can't tell you no.
Jack's gonna be up there like offering. Y'all gonna be saying like, "Hey, no sweets, no this, and then Jack's gonna be in the office with her, giving her all the candy and sweets.
That's exactly what's going to happen.
All the things that Daddy says no, Uncle Jackie's gonna say yes to. So.
Yep.
Ooh.
Hey, speaking of Jack, you came in at a perfect time, right? We're recapping. You probably already know where we're going. We're recapping what happened last weekend, NFL playoff wise, and we're at the infamous game between the Packers and the Cowboys. So you just hopped on. You're fresh on the show. We got Benny's take. But now let's get your take because we know that you're a big time Cowboys fan. But just give us your take on what happened, your feelings, all that stuff. Since you had a couple days to decompress, think about it. Obviously, you had the big time news today that McCarthy's coming back, which I personally like. Some of y'all might disagree, but I think it's a good move. But anyway, go for it. Go ahead, Jack.
The move, I've said this earlier. I think, Mike McCarthy had probably one of the greatest quarterbacks that we've ever get to witness, and he only got one Super Bowl. That tells you all you need to know about the guy. The Cowboys, they're going to be my pallbearers one day. They're going to let me down one last time when I die. Because high hopes, three 12-win seasons, win the NFC East 2 times out of the 3 years they're there. They're number 2 seed in the playoffs, NFC playoffs. Gets spanked around by a team that has nothing to lose. Well, Dallas, you have nothing to lose. Everyone expects you to go to the Super Bowl. And every year, every season, we have us fans that say it's our year. Okay, you have nothing. You have nothing else. Just let it hang out and play. You knew it was going to be a bad game as soon as they come out. The Green Bay Packers come out and just drive, and no, they can't stop a nosebleed. It was ugly. They get one stop, but it was like a defensive holding, which that's fine. And then they go down and score again. And then it's ugly. And then Dak couldn't connect with CD. We can blame Dak. Well, Dak played trash. We know. But the defense was terrible. The guy, you have 6 DBs in a team that has Aaron Jones that's going to outrun you. Come on. Get out of 6 DBs. Quit trying to make do with your 6 DBs, 4 or 5 D linemen that are good, but your weakest part is your linebackers, and you think you're going to win a team that can run the rock with 2 linebackers? Get out of here, Dallas. You're worried. You're more worried about your job interviews coming up than the thing in front of you, Dan. That's it. Get out of 6 DBs. Go fill up the box. Stop the run and make Jordan Love pass. Because he's going to make those crazy passes, but 60, you're in coverage. You have Micah Parsons. Why is Micah Parsons in coverage? First off,
yeah.
Great question.
Held. He didn't want to get held anymore.
Well, he's been held all year. Why does it matter?
But they were actually calling it this game. That's so ironic. They were actually calling holding on Parsons.
You've getting hold all season, and you still were highest sack rate. You had the best cornerback that was sacking, or you had a cornerback that was leading the league in interceptions. But it wasn't because you're in 6 DBs. It was because of the rush from the D lineman, and then you have one back print. Offense is offense. Offense, but defense was the biggest, to me, was the biggest thing that could have happened. Okay, you were down. Dak's pick 6 was terrible. You go down, you get points. You get a touchdown before halftime, which, false start by the Red Raider. Still, good job getting away with one. Then you go down and get the ball third quarter. You get down to the ball in third quarter, you only get 3 points. get touchdown, make it 14-28, whatever the hell it was at this point, make it a ball game. Then you go down, then you don't get a stop. They go down and score. Aaron Jones just sitting here 1, 2, 3. You get I kept the game on until that drive, and then that drive happened. They stalled, and then I turned the TV on to something else, something more enjoyable instead of that crap. Come on, Dallas.
I always forget Aaron Jones is from Texas.
Yeah, UTEP, baby.
Yep.
Then I remember they always show those highlights. Like, oh yeah, that dude's from El Paso.
Mm-hmm. Trash. You have all these high hopes and you let us down. Dallas, 30 years, no NFC championships to play for. All their other teams in Dallas have made runs and made championships, and you're still the same irrelevant mediocrity Dallas team. Crap, the Wings, the Stars, the Mavericks, the Rangers, the soccer teams have been more relevant in the last 30 years than the Dallas Cowboys.
Hey, man. Hey,
I
want to ask.
The Rangers, there's proof.
You'll still buy their tickets.
Hey, but my
I didn't buy
question
a ticket to the Cowboys game.
Hey, Jack, tell me
I didn't buy a new Cowboys hat, nothing this year, man. It's the same stuff I had.
I'm proud of you.
Rangers.
Answer me this, Jack, and I don't know if that's why I'm asking you, so don't freaking go freaking ape on me, all right?
Do it.
Don't pull out your chest hair and go crazy on me. Every
Do
team, am I wrong?
Do it.
Every team that has gone on and won finally in Dallas changed and had a new GM.
Yep.
And guess who hasn't? The Cowboys, because Jerry decides he can run it all.
I think this will be the answer. Get one of those old legends out of whatever they're doing and bring them and let them be football operations guys. It's worked for every other organization. John Lynch.
Michael Irvin would be perfect.
John Lynch, San Fran.
Yep.
Right? John Elway in Denver won the Super Bowl with John Elway.
Jimmy Johnson run it.
He's too old, man. He's always in and out of Fox because he's sick. He can't do it no more.
But am I wrong about that? Or is that like that's a legit stat to look up? Like I wonder if that's real.
You know,
like think about
Rangers, he on the team?
Rangers went on to win the World Series. They changed GM. They started getting all these people, right? I'm assuming the Mavs when they won with Nowinski and them probably had a new GM.
No.
Okay, so you take them out. What about the Stars?
Well, that was 99, dude, when they won it.
Well,
hey, man, they went to the world. Stop it. They went to the Stanley Cup in 2020.
We're talking about
Stanley
winning
Cup in
it.
2020.
Well, I understand that, but they said winning it. 99 was when they won it.
From 99
They're still in the Dallas hasn't even been the NFC Championship.
But I'm saying
popcorn now.
I don't know. Whatever. That was my take. That's a stat to look up. I would assume that's pretty much right.
That's interesting.
Look, my thing here is like Cobbs says GM. I'm going to take it a step above that, and I'm going to say it's Jerry Jones.
Oh, I'm with you.
That's you're talking about GMs and head coaches and stuff, which is part of it. But he is the bottom. He is the bottom. Like if we get to the root of all problems, it's Jerry Jones.
He just got to get out his own way. Just let Will McClay do the thing, man.
He wants his hand. He wants his hand in the.
He needs to be. He's
You
never
can't do
going to
both.
be this type of person. He's never gonna evolve or magically wake up one day and be this person. But he needs to be owner. But he needs to hire people and let them do their jobs without trying to put his fingerprint on it.
That's why they fired Jimmy Johnson. That's why they fired him.
Do that.
I like Jimmy.
Yeah.
That's why they
He has
fired
too
him.
much of an ego.
Jimmy Johnson said, "Stay up there. I'll take care of this." Well, that's why it was a big thing when they didn't hire Sean Payton, because Sean Payton was the same way as Jimmy Johnson. He's like, "You stay up there, get people in the seats, and I'll I'll win games." That's what Sean Payton was going to do. He's a Parcells guy. You know, if you know Parcells, you know Sean Payton's the same way. Don't bite the cheese. You know, Payton was a no crap type of dude. And you know why Jason Garrett lasted so long in Dallas? Because he was a clapper and he's go with the flow, do what he was supposed to. And
he was a yes man for
Mike McCarthy. You know, is a yes man to an extent. I think he does things a little bit differently. That's why they've had success. Don't get me wrong. You know, we're sitting at like you. I don't know how long you guys were on the podcast, but for 45 minutes we're talking about the Dallas Cowboys. That's big publicity for them. You know, 12-year wins in a row, 3 12-win seasons, right? NFC East champs twice of those 3 years. always prime time. How many prime time games do the Cowboys have in the last 3 years? That's money. They don't.
Yeah.
I mean, us as fans, we want championships, but as an organization, primetime games, filling the seats, merchandise, that's big. Like, tell me the Titans. Are they on any prime time tonight? Are they in any prime time this year?
Whoa.
I'm just
About what?
saying. Is that it? Were they in
Remember,
prime
remember
time?
he's a former Titan.
I'm a free agent,
Yeah, he's
sir.
a free agent. I'm trying to buy him for.
Sir.
I'm trying to buy him for a
Sorry.
12 pack. You know,
Sir.
Okay, like
Sir, but my formerly they were guaranteed their Monday night game and their Thursday night game. If you're talking
And
about
you know how
prime
many-
time,
and,
that's
and
two.
how many did Dallas have?
Maybe they might have been three. Might have been three. I mean,
And half
that
of
third
Dallas's were prime time. Sunday
yeah,
night.
but like I
Thursday
get it,
night.
the prime time, selling the seats and all that, but
Yeah.
when's time be a change? Like like that's great, like cool. I would take no prime time games for a damn championship. Like I'd be fine with it.
Yeah.
No,
Like,
You
hell,
in the
yeah.
Dallas, but that's
Imagine-
not what
Damn prime time game.
Imagine the financial windfall from the Cowboys finally winning a Super Bowl.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know
You're
if
like
that's
in the-
what they're thinking about. You know what I mean? They're just thinking about right there, right here, right now. But like, imagine winning a Super Bowl. All the publicity that comes with it, all these fans that, like, obviously, my boys here that are Cowboys fans, that long, that being able to finally kind of bury the hatchet on this topic and say, like, hey, motherfucker, we're world champs now. We're like you
Whoa.
guys. We're world champs now. You know what I mean? Like, how much
Well,
money?
like,
Jack will be
talk
buying
about,
every
like,
head
money.
that comes out after that. You know what I mean?
For real.
Like,
Like
World
the
champs,
tickets
baby.
to a Cowboys game's already high, much less you win a damn Super Bowl. Then the tickets go even higher, kind
Yep.
of like the Rangers.
Yeah.
Like I guarantee you can't buy a Rangers ticket for under $100 now this year. You
Yeah.
might
Bet you
find a
can.
game or two that might be under that, but it ain't gonna be many.
I think the
bet,
worst stat that came out of the Cowboys loss, when you look back, and Jack kind of alluded to it with what they've done the last 3 seasons, but like they're like, some people, it was all over like X and stuff like that, but like they're like one of the few, if only, franchises that have done X amount with wins, like having all these wins and then never being in the conference championship game, let alone a Super Bowl, but a conference championship game. Like, when I saw that,
also-
and I'm not even a Cowboys fan, and I'm just like, that shit fucking burned.
What about So this is an interesting take too. How many times did the Green Bay Packers, with the number 1 seed, number 2 seed, being the best team in the NFC and getting smoked in the first or second round,
I would
and not
say
make it to the Super Bowl?
never. I would
Half
say
half
like,
of Aaron Rodgers' career. I would say half of Aaron Rodgers' career. I will put that they win the first round, second round they will lose when they were the picked favorite. I will put money on that's what happened in Green Bay when Mike McCarthy was in charge.
But
You know,
I think they
you
made
like
a couple more conference finals than that. I'll look it up here. Go ahead.
I got
but
you.
like think about this. Like, okay, we've all been saying Bill Belichick, right? Okay, Bill. Bill Belichick is not always great. If you could put a little bit of Bill Belichick and Mike McCarthy in the postseason, we'd be having a different conversation. But Mike McCarthy in the postseason is way different than Bill Belichick. If Bill Belichick gets in the postseason, what's the chances of him making it to the Super Bowl? What's that rating compared to Mike McCarthy's?
Right.
High? Because Bill Belichick hasn't been in the postseason since Tom Brady left. Or he maybe went one time. But other than, I mean, he got in one time.
I think I think Belichick was there like the Giants, like Lawrence Taylor and them when they won.
Oh, yeah. But that's
But as a head coach, like Belichick's kind of like tide of fame and history has all been with Brady. But I think that if, obviously Belichick's looking around, I thought he'd be kind of done with football, like after the Patriots run, that he would kind of get to the point, kind of like Saban, where he'd be like, hey, I've won it all. I've done everything, peace out. But I think there's kind of still a fire that burns in him based on how his tenure with the Patriots ended. It wasn't necessarily his terms. It was kind of like, it looked kind of decent last year with Mac Jones, and then this year was just a complete, dumpster fire. Now, hypothetically, if you put him in Dallas with the playmakers they have, with a quarterback like Dak, who is probably, compared to what he was coming out of in New England, is probably an upgrade, to a degree, and then having maybe Belichick come in there, and if Belichick was able to run the organization how he saw fit, maybe. But at the end of the day, it's
I,
all going to come down to
I
Jerry Jones.
I would say how he ran an organization as a whole, because we always say, oh, he couldn't win without Tom Brady. Well, guys, how many defensive NBA or Hall of Famers has he built? He drafted those guys. If you didn't know this, he's the guy that picks the drafts the guys, calls who he wants, not just Tom Brady. So we can shut up about the debate, 7 rings, Tom Brady. Guys, Tom Brady would not even been in New England if Bill Belichick didn't draft the dude first place. And that was Bill Belichick's call, right?
But it all
So
comes back to, will Jerry get
organization.
the hell out
Yeah,
And
it's the Cowboy.
like that's
Wait, let's go get Sean McVay. F it.
Sean McVay.
Let's go get him. Yeah, he won for
But
nine.
again,
Last time I checked, he's at the same
He has a
place.
better chance of winning again in L.A. than he does Dallas.
but
Hey, man.
again,
Okay, I'm
it
going to
don't-
change.
it don't matter who you hire.
Look, hey, Benny, look up here, baby. Look up here, baby. Look,
Yeah,
what's
you
right
know
there?
what? Take that crap down. It don't matter who you hire. In the end, Jerry has to get his ass out the way.
I agree. Hey, so real quick,
Like,
Jack.
it don't matter if you hire Belichick or not.
No, I agree. It's all
Agree.
comes down to Jerry. Hey, now we might have to look this up. When was McCarthy's last year in Green Bay?
I got it right here, Josh.
15.
18.
Okay,
That's
so
right,
here,
it's
so
15.
18. So
Yeah.
and this is not to just see, they've been twice with Burke. That's crazy.
And he
They were
was from
3
Green Bay
times.
from
So
when?
when McCarthy was there, they went to 3 NFC Championship games. And they got
And
knocked
how
out
many
in
did
the
they
wild.
win?
One.
Well, at least they made it. They made a total 3 times. That's not to rub salt in the wound. They did it 3 times.
3 times.
They got knocked out in the wild card round 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know when he got there, but at least 4 times they got knocked out in the wild card round.
He got there. He got there in 06. He missed the
So
playoffs his
06,
first year.
06 to
07
18.
was 07. He got bounced in the conference championship game, I believe, or the second round game. Yeah, conference championship game. He got bounced, and so I mean, and there's
From
probably
07, you just said 07 to 18, 1 Super Bowl. Had
No,
to
I
win
agree.
this-
No. I agree with that part. Having Aaron Rodgers and only going to 1 Super Bowl in that time frame does not look good on him.
No. You had Aaron Rodgers, man. To me, you could say Tom Brady. He's up there for sure. I'm not. Well, Tom Brady's in a different category. We're going to say that, but Aaron Rodgers is probably one of the greatest quarterbacks we have witnessed in our lifetime.
Yeah.
yes, 100%.
And you win. He only wins 1 Super Bowl.
No, I agree. Now, again, we're talking about this now, and again, Jack, you alluded to it when you first had your, take on the game. But like, obviously, if you watched it, right, and I remember watching it, and like I told the guys, I was shell shocked kind of watching it. Dak did not play the best, and of course, he had moments where he was good. The picks were terrible. His best weapons weren't going. We talked about Pollard, how Pollard wasn't the dude. We talked about earlier, Jack, in the podcast that, if Derrick Henry, he's available, and if he wants to be a Cowboy, they need to go get him, type
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
But obviously, it's easy for a lot of people, especially in sports media stuff, to look at that game and try to put all the blame on Dak because, like,
Oh, no.
like Jack,
Yeah, I agree.
and I not necessarily stood up for you, but I said like, hey, Dak was the guy that came out and he said, hey, I want big boy money. I want
Got to win big boy
money.
games.
And the Cowboys kind of bowed down to that and gave him the big boy money. But since then, when it's come for big boys to step up or like big time players to step up in big time games and big time plays, he has not delivered. You know what I mean? Compared to
Agreed.
other people, right? Now,
Agreed.
on Sunday, he was also at fault, even though the media, for the most part, makes him these easy scapegoat because it's quarterback. They're always the easy
Oh, it's
scapegoat.
because yeah.
But the thing that really truly killed the Cowboys, like you alluded to, was their defense. And they had a pretty good defense all year. Dan Quinn had a lot of praise, which was
Doomsday my
he
foot.
warranted. it was warranted and stuff. And then of course they show up in the
It-
Packers, which the
It's earned
Packers were a team-
him. It's earned him the interviews
yeah,
this year
and
for
and
head coaching jobs.
And to be honest, I was shocked at how well the Packers played. Like, I've watched a couple of the Packers games, all the stuff. They were kind of one of those teams that you didn't know what was going to show up. They've been kind of hit and miss, and of course, as a if I was a Cowboys, it'd be like, of course, they play the Cowboys and they look like it honestly.
Freaking world beaters.
I made the comment. I made the
Okay.
comment to some other people. I was like, watching that game, it looked like the Packers were the number 2 seed and the Cowboys with the 7th seed. That's how the game
So
felt.
it looked like.
Agreed.
Well, here's an interesting stat for you, Joshua. You can fact check me on here. All offensive guys that have worked with Dan Quinn has never beaten. Mike McDaniel,
Interesting.
Sean McVay, Matt LaFleur. You know where these all tie into? Atlanta.
Atlanta. Okay.
Really? Did not know that.
All of his guys he's worked with in Atlanta and Washington that he's
I was
had.
about to say Washington
he's
because
not
McVay
beaten.
was in Atlanta, but yeah.
So
Yes.
what's he giving away?
Yes. I don't know. They know something we don't, but he has not beaten them as
Well,
a
I will say
defensive
this.
coordinator.
I will say this.
Or-
Big
And
bout.
I will say this for LaFleur. He probably saw when they were in their,
Here's the Bills film.
when they're in their,
Oh yeah.
6 defense DB. He sees 6 DBs and it's a light box, and they
Aaron
got
Jones,
Aaron
baby.
Jones back.
Heard that.
And the other guy is like, we're just going to pound the rock, and if they stop it, then we'll go from there. But once they figured out that the Cowboys couldn't stop the run, everything else of that, the Cowboys had no answers for it because they couldn't stop Love. Like, it felt like Love would drop back and he'd be back there 4 or 5 seconds of scanning and looking, not necessarily get any pressure, and then just step up and wide open guy 15 yards. Everything.
Yep.
Yes.
That was
And they were it was bad, wide open.
yeah. it
Like
was
those guys in the NFL don't get that wide open.
You have
Yeah.
6
Brutal,
DBs.
Brutal.
I texted our coordinator and I was like, "Hey, you would have fired me in the first half, but in the second half, when that dude ran that like the hideout and he came and he was like standing by himself, I was like, I would have gotten the Uber then. I'd been like, yeah, I'm fired, bro. Like I can't defend that.
Yeah.
Like that dude didn't know them by himself. Like, I'm fired.
It's crazy.
Yep. I don't know how.
It's freaking crazy.
Anyway, Dallas, what's the definitely doing the same thing over and over again, waiting for a different result.
And we're gonna do it again next year.
Yep.
We're
I
gonna
think
be
they have
we're gonna be
perfectly-
we're gonna
I
get
think they-
we're gonna be 12 wins again, baby. 12 wins again.
Now,
It's
to
our
be
Second
year.
place in the NFC East. Giants are going to win the
our
NFC
year.
East next year. You hear it? Giants will win the NFC East next year. Dallas will be number 2. Philly's going to be 3.
Interesting take.
And Dallas.
I don't know if I like that take on the Giants. Ugh.
Well,
Hey, you better write this
Philly
down.
was
Somebody write it down.
Philly
so
was-
he can't say he didn't
what
say
I
it.
just saw from Philly was very disheartening.
Oh my gosh, it was bad.
That was bad.
Okay,
That's
so-
obviously
That was
from
So,
inside.
listen,
There's obviously
great.
something from inside there.
Right. So, like, obviously, we just talked about the
100%.
Cowboys and the absolute meltdown of the Cowboys from one game in the playoffs, which has kind of been something that's kind of been their thing, right?
All
But
all
like
right, go on the
watching
Eagles. Let's move on.
watching the Eagles in the season on the I think they at one point they were like 11-1 or 11
10-1,
2,
bro. 10-1.
10
Yeah,
and
they
1
lost.
and
and
1
they
and
finished
6.
the year
1 and 6,
and they
yeah.
finished the year with 11 wins. Like and watching the game the other night, like I was watching just like shout out to the Bucks, by the way, which I picked the Bucks. So shout out, let's go.
We all did.
Cover up,
We all said Bucks, man.
just for that.
Shout out Baker.
How about Baker?
Watching
Shout out Baker.
shout out Baker, but watching the body language of the Eagle players, like it was like if you watched them early in the year, it looked like they were world beaters. Like, all right, this team's going back to the Super Bowl, and then you
Hey,
watch them
confidence.
the last few weeks, and just like Jack just said, something is going on behind closed doors that is just,
Well, I kept
not
hearing-
good, not good.
can't-
Like,
I kept hearing it was AJ Brown.
I don't even think it was AJ Brown, to be
I
honest.
don't either. But
Oh,
that's
I
what-
even-
that's
I
what
said
people
this.
were saying.
I think
don't
he was
think-
just
okay,
fed up with
so this-
what else was going on.
Lane.
This is
Lane
okay. This will
Johnson.
tell you a perfect
You
example.
hear that?
Yeah, I didn't.
Lane
This is a
Johnson
perfect
interview?
example. Here's a perfect example for you. Okay, Eagles won the Super Bowl last year, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
But their coordinators or their coaching guys that were with them, they're ahead at halftime. They look like they're about to go win a Super Bowl against Kansas City. Right? I'm about to take an interesting take on Patrick here, but they go to Kansas. They play Kansas City in the Super Bowl. They come back at the third quarter, and they get out coached, and they lose the game because their coaches didn't make adjustments like the Chiefs did, and those guys are coordinators and move off to be head coaches, right? Well, those guys are still on staff, and then they become new head coach or new coordinators and DCs, and they couldn't figure things out. Like their OC couldn't figure things out, their DC couldn't figure things out. They make different DC with 6 games left in the year, and they only get 1 win. I don't think it's necessarily players. I think it's also coaches buy into the culture. I think Nick Sirianni is a great coach, even though I don't like the guy very much. I think it's his coordinators or something going on at that point that changes things. Because if you don't have coaches buy in, you're not going to have players buy in, and then that's when everything kind of collapses on you. And I think Philly had a perfect example. Like, oh, we're riding high, baby. We're 10-1. We have one rough game. We get going again. We play the gauntlet of our schedule. We beat the gauntlet of our schedule, and then you have 5 games in a row that you can win. You win the NFC East, cakewalk. You play some of the easiest opponents that were in the NFL at the time, the Cardinals, the Giants, twice. You have the Commanders, Dallas, Titans, and you only go 1-5 during that stretch. 1-5 during that stretch when you had 4 weeks to finish off and be the NFC East champs, get second seed, home field throughout the playoffs. Besides the Niners, and you collapse. Like, people, I don't feel bad for Philly, and I sure as hell don't feel bad for the Dolphins because they had every right to finish the season and be the second seed, and then you have to go to Kansas City. So Dolphins, I don't feel bad for you. Go to Kansas City. You get what you get.
I 100% agree.
You had 5 chances to get you the number 2 seed. You didn't do
100%
it. You let
agree
Buffalo
on all
get
that.
it.
Hey,
But
that's a great take
anyway.
off your Giants.
Yeah.
Great take.
Like it. Sorry, Josh.
go
That's okay.
Fins.
My true kind of heartbreaker in a way was Sunday night.
100%.
Oh,
Man,
dude, game of the
How
playoffs,
about them?
baby.
How about them Lions?
Good. It was,
Bro, how about the
honestly,
Rams,
good
dude?
game. Good game.
Dude,
Matthew
all the credit.
Stafford, dog.
Stafford said, "Hold this. Let me go win this thing." Dude, that game,
Dog.
dude, it shows you how tough Matthew Stafford is.
Dude,
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Because he took
Like-
some freaking shots.
that dude got rocked.
He was taking shots. He was slinging the thing around. And he's like, okay, Detroit. And what really pissed me off, I love what Dan Campbell's doing in Detroit. But what you did to Matt Stafford, booed the dude, booed his children. After you have one playoff win because of the dude, man. What are you doing? Like, Matthew Stafford took you to the playoffs with Calvin Johnson with mediocre talent, and he got you to the playoffs, and he couldn't win. You know, what I saw Sunday night was kind of remind me of when Detroit and Dallas played. You remember that playoff game? And Dallas won by the field goal or 7 points at the end of the game because of the pass interference call. You remember? But that kind of game reminded me of that game from Matthew Stafford. He didn't get to seal the deal like they did then. But Detroit, come on, man. The dude that he named a daughter after you, dude. Come on. Have some class to that.
When he was there, he gave his heart and soul to that franchise for a long time.
Yes.
When that franchise was not good. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And of course, they're way better than they are now. They have a great head coach. They have a great culture.
GM.
Yeah. You know what I mean? It was a great game. At the end of it, it came down to, which defense can
Field
get
goals.
the necessary stop. At first, early on, the Lions, ran out to an early lead. Adjustments were made. The Rams DC is probably not going to longer be their DC no more, unfortunately.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Which has been a trend for them. They've had good coordinators come through, and those guys go to head coaches of their own, and they just reload. And we've had great young guys step up and do stuff for them. But when the Rams, I remember early in the game when Lions drove down, scored touchdown. Rams answered driving down, kick a field goal. Those possessions is what changed the game. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. The
it was
way that
frustrating.
game started, I thought the Lions were about to blow the Rams out. Those first couple drives,
that's what
those first
Josh
couple
said.
drives, I really thought, oh shit, they are about to
Yeah.
blow the freaking doors off the game, and the Rams can't come back.
Yeah, I was a little worried because they had their
Never
run game
count
going.
out Matthew Stafford, my man.
Dude,
Yeah, I
And
was a little
Raheem
worried.
Mostert. Is that his name? What's his name? What's their
Molster.
Morris? Their DC
Oh,
monster. What's his
yeah.
name? Mostert.
Morris.
Morris. Raheem Morris.
More.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't count him out, man. He doesn't get enough credit when he does. In my opinion, I think he's probably one of the best coordinators. Because think about this: Super Bowl team, the Rams. Shout out the Rammies here. The Super Bowl team the Rams had, right? Those guys are gone. They're in Buffalo. They only kept one, and that's Aaron Donald. Other than that, they're new draft picks, they're pickups, they're young cats, and they made adjustments. They made the playoffs and made it a hell of a game with the 3 seed. So I think he doesn't get enough credit for what he's doing, but he's doing a great job. But you also know you have a dog at quarterback.
Yeah, and to speak about that, like for me, again, just kind of throwing my bias out here for the Rams, but like I overall it was for me it was a great season for them. You know what I mean? Compared to what happened last year with the injuries and the way they kind of faltered, coming off a Super Bowl, one of the worst kind of seasons they defending champs had. This year they go through and they kind of have somewhat of a youth movement. They draft really well when they actually keep their draft picks. Um, still with some of their veteran leadership there. Um, and of course, they start the year not very well. I think they were like 3-6 by the time they hit their bye, and then of course they go on the run after their bye. So it was a great season. Finally able to beat the 49ers in the regular season, which was, was great to see that too. Unfortunately, it came to an end in Detroit, which was sad. I thought really they could. I thought honestly the way they were playing that they would be able to find a way to win. But shout out Detroit.
Yeah,
Happy for them and their fan base.
I picked the
and
Rams.
stuff, but yeah, so did I. Obviously,
I picked
but
the But,
I was so
I'm not.
sad after the Cowboys game. I couldn't even watch that game. I was so sad.
I was watching that one. I knew that one would be. Jared Goff
I
gets
didn't
a
wanna
lot
watch
of praise.
football. Like after what
Yeah.
the Cowboys showed me, I didn't want to watch football. I was I'm not watching football.
They were praising Jared Goff, but I think he got outplayed by Matthew Stafford.
Oh,
That's
he
just my
did.
opinion. You can say
He
say what
did.
you want, but that's my take.
He did.
I agree.
But the Detroit defense just made one or two more
Agreed.
plays than
That's basically what it came down to. That's basically
Hey,
what it came down to.
we're come on, Baker Mayfield. Baker in
No, hey,
Detroit is going to be a
I
hell
will
of a
say,
game.
yeah, I agree. That's gonna be a great game. And speaking of that, there's a great comment that a reporter made that it was absolutely funny as hell to Todd Bowles. But
About the
last
dome.
yes. The one thing about the Rams game that I'm sure Sean McVay is gonna burn in his fucking gut all offseason was that the end of the game, 4 or 5 minutes left, instead of going for it, they punt
You
the ball
punt.
and they never get the ball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh,
It was what, like
Yeah, I didn't
fourth
even
and
think about
4, fourth
Yeah,
and
it
5.
Yeah, maybe fourth and medium max. They decide to punt it and they never get the ball back. I remember seeing that and I was just like,
And Dan
Just go for it.
Campbell throws the ball for a first down to seal the game.
Yeah.
Let him hang, Dan.
Stud.
he's not scared to go for it, man. I'm telling
No,
you, watching that game, he is not
that's-
scared to go for it.
That's what I like about Dan Campbell. He goes, "Why not? Let's go."
Yeah. And he coaches. His team plays like they have nothing to lose,
Yeah,
and that's hard to beat. That's what Bears did. Imagine this, Josh. I said it earlier. You remember I asked if Lions, Detroit, and Green Bay would play again at the end of the year, and you said they split series. Imagine if they rematch now for the Super Bowl.
or the NFC. That'd be NFC championship game. But,
Yeah. But I don't
I
think
don't know.
Green getting through San Fran.
No, there. I don't. I don't see
like,
it either.
Shout out Texans. I don't think they're getting through Baltimore. Baltimore's
No.
scary to me.
Yeah, I don't know. We say that shit about the Packers and 49ers, but
I don't know.
we don't
The
fucking.
only thing, the only thing that hurts Baltimore is they start slow when they have a first round bye. That's proven.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So, but that the Texans are going to bring it to them. But Baltimore's different. Baltimore's a different team. They literally beat. I still don't think the Dolphins recovered from that ass whooping the Baltimore Ravens got them.
Hell no. I don't think they. No, I think real quick, Dolphins. They never recovered from losing to the Titans. How they did.
But
Go Titans.
The Texans,
Tighten
they got a young guy playing like a freaking vet right now
Yes, they do.
at quarterback, and he said, "Get on my back, Houston. I got you."
Yeah, for sure. He's definitely carried it. They're definitely. You can tell how much of an impact he has on their franchise when he plays and when he doesn't play.
Yep.
Anyways,
I really, and I'll say it too. I was wrong about C.D. Stroud. I thought he was not going to pan out.
Yeah, I was iffy on him. I wasn't sure what he's going to do.
What did Josh? You excited? You called this or what?
Yes,
But we didn't even get to. We didn't even finish with what's his name. What's his name still is not a bust yet until he has another thing where Richardson for the Colts. I don't think he's a bust. And I said
but
Richardson,
on the initial first season. Now, no, Richardson, you got to put an asterisk because he got hurt, and he was actually pretty good when he played. But mainly when you compare the top two, like the two guys that were going head to head so far in their careers, CJ.
I didn't think Bryce was gonna. I didn't think Bryce was gonna be as good as CJ.
Also,
that was what I said.
He also,
Anthony Richardson's gonna learn, man. He can't take those shots.
But
yes.
Don't the coach just need to get an offensive line? Isn't that the reason?
Once he stays good,
like he didn't want to play football because he was getting the shit beat out of him because they wouldn't protect him.
Carolina is a tough place anyway.
But
yes.
Yeah, he landed up in a not good spot. Unfortunately.
Yeah, that's why homeboy doesn't want to go to the Bears. That's why Caleb Williams is acting like a diva. Doesn't want to go to the Bears. The Bears are the same way. They don't have an offensive line.
I think
I think Justin Fields could be all right if you gave him some weapons and an offensive line. But that's another topic.
Yeah, I agree on that. But I think Caleb Williams is overrated, but for the most part.
Great, stop it, dog.
Stop
it.
Crazy,
get help. You crazy? Caleb Williams is a dude, man. He's a dude.
Well,
we'll see.
The great thing is we'll find it next year.
Yep, we'll see.
Because the team's going to have to play his ass because they're going to draft him number 1.
Yep, we'll see. But anyways,
hey Benny, actually that we're on here, big guy. I'm very disappointed in you, Mr. Defensive Guy.
Ooh.
I'm busting your chops here, man. You know, we texted and we picked who we were gonna pick. Right, Washington, Michigan. I said what? I said Michigan's defense is going to be a good equalizer against Washington. And what did you say?
I said.
What'd you vote? What'd you go for? You went for an offense over a defense. Never.
Did you not see what they were doing in Texas? Homeboy.
I saw. But I saw what Michigan did to Bama, team I thought was going to roll through everybody, and Michigan went and literally lit a fire. I think I was texting Josh and I said, Josh, Michigan's good. And as soon as I knew they were as soon as they beat Bama and move on, I said, yeah, Washington got a chance. If Texas got by Washington, I don't think Texas had a chance, to be honest.
I feel like Texas did have a chance. I just feel like Washington just came out and was like, know what? Hey, we're gonna blow it all on Texas. And they put it all on Texas. And we were like, what? Why?
Hate to see it.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah,
you picked Washington, and it's gonna be go blue, baby.
If they did that
came back to burn me too. Benny, don't worry.
Why couldn't they do the same thing?
Don't worry, Benny. Hey, Benny, don't worry. That came back and really blew back in my face too, because I remember that first drive when. Now again, it wasn't how the play was drawn, but like when Michigan drove down the field and scored with ease, my first train of thought was, oh shit. If you can't stop that run game and kind of force it all on JJ, then it's just like you're asking for a long night. And of course, again, if you're a Longhorns fan watching that game, I bet you were super pissed because the
Cody.
Washington
I'm out.
was absolutely terrible
He
compared to what he was
Dude.
before,
Yeah.
man.
he
Yeah.
made
The
him
whole
he
lot
made
on
him
Texas.
some money during that semifinal game.
Yeah.
Oh,
That game
just-
only.
just
Yeah,
Pound
that's
the
what I'm
rock,
saying.
baby. Pound the
Just-
rock, baby.
Dude,
just retired
Control the
after
clock,
that.
control the
But
game.
as much as he was amazing during the Texas game, their receivers didn't drop a damn thing.
Nope.
Like
They did
everything that
not.
was thrown in vicinity, those dudes were freaking whoop. That's mine.
Well,
And
it's kind
then
of hard.
you get to Michigan, and we can't even complete a 20-yard pass when a dude's got nobody within 20 yards of him.
I'm about to
We're
say
good.
it's kind of hard for him to not, to catch the ball when the ball is.
Yeah.
Go
Like,
blue, baby. I
boy.
just want to know out of the group here, your boy
Oh,
called
is
it.
that
That's
right?
true.
Hey,
Yeah.
anyone got those ball rankings?
We'll give you a golf clap,
Yeah,
because
I
it
want
is
it.
what it is.
Okay, then.
Well, we got to make it
I
a
gotta-
quieter golf clap. It can't be that
I
loud.
got,
That's
oh,
that's
see.
all we got.
But if I was wrong, they'd be busting my chop for it.
You're
you
damn
know, big
right.
time.
Why not?
But
That's how it
yeah,
goes.
but I'm just I told you so, and then this is what I do. I just gotta
Hey,
bust.
I got Jack.
The defense.
I got Jack a cool gift today.
He did.
Did you?
Jake Ottinger, baby.
Yeah.
Jake
I
Otto
got him an Ottinger helmet.
Ottinger, baby. The Otter. You're gonna get him in. He's gonna get him in the Stanley Cup, baby. You're gonna have to get to the
Yeah.
Knights.
You gotta
Like
get.
But
They're waiting on my Christmas gift. That's fine. That's cool.
Yeah. Your Christmas gift's here. We're waiting on the rest of it.
It's
I'm
here.
still waiting on my gift too,
Hey,
Hey,
I got your gift. I already gave it to you.
Yeah.
Damn.
Benny.
You know what?
I'm waiting
I'm gonna
on mine.
I'm gonna bring it to you at church. I'm just slide it right underneath the pew. Like, here's an alcoholic. Like, I'm asking you, all right, what do
He
you
needs to
do?
go to a community group. He needs to go to a CG.
Hey, I'm okay, Josh. Time out. I'm gonna bust your chops down. What
Oh,
are you
no.
wearing? What are you
What?
wearing? You lost your Texas Tech privileges, my man.
Oh, come
That
on.
take is gonna live in infamy.
What'd he do? Hold on.
I'm still a Red Raider, man.
You
What
made a
happened?
take.
man.
That take is never gonna be dead. In my
Root,
eyes.
rooting for what was it, Jack?
He said the
Texas?
Texas National Championship was one of his top 5 college football games of all time.
Yes, that is
Oh,
correct.
All right. I like it.
You would.
Good job, Cleve.
You would.
Good job, Curtin. Good job.
No.
Or it was, but you know what he didn't put up on there? Texas Tech's Final Four run. He didn't put that up
Good.
on
You
his
should,
list.
because it's Texas Tech.
But we were talking about football.
It was college games, bro.
Yeah, but it was focus was football.
Yeah, it was football based, man. How about get off his chops?
No.
Oh.
And then he's wearing a Tech shirt like he doesn't know who they're playing tonight. It's a big one tonight. If you didn't know,
Yeah.
Texas
And they're
Tech
getting
and
beat
Houston,
right now.
big one tonight.
That
Oh,
is a
They're
big
getting
game.
beat.
Are they?
26-21.
That's a good one, baby. They'll come back. They'll be
It
all right.
is.
How about
I've been watching
Cincy?
it.
How about
Biggest
Cincy beat TCU last night? That was
Let's
huge.
go. But the Big 12 is the most competitive conference in college basketball
Well, back to
right behind.
Yeah.
And then ACC's right behind.
Yeah,
shout out.
100%.
And guess who's sitting at the top of the leaderboard at the moment?
Who?
Wreck 'em, baby.
Okay.
Texas.
It happens.
Texas got beat.
They did. I feel you, dog. Texas got beat, man. They did.
Jack, I also wore this for you, big dog.
Orale.
Olale.
I went for you. Orale.
Olale. I don't have no
You need
cowboy
it.
stuff. I would have wore that too. But
Ugh. I don't even want to look at my cowboy shit.
It's
Hey,
back in
listen,
the back
listen,
of my closet.
like y'all's and again, it's somewhat to the same degree. Y'all's history and having to go through all the stuff with the Cowboys stuff is just like my fandom with this team right here.
Yeah,
This is my one team right here that's just when y'all have y'all's optimism for your team and they just continuously just kick the chair out from
Underperform,
you.
underachieve,
Yeah, this team right
just
here is
leave
that
you.
one. It used to be
That's
this one. This one used to be always just terrible. I knew they were terrible. If they won a game every once in a while, that was our little mini Super Bowl. And then they finally put it together and won.
That was like us. That was like kind of cheering on the Rangers. I was like, man, I'm cheering them on because I'm pumped, but at the same time, they're probably going to shit the bed sooner or later. And then they didn't, And now you go back to the Cowboys, and yeah. It's like, can we skip football season with Cowboys and just skip straight to Rangers, please?
Hey, there's
No.
one team that hasn't let us down yet this year.
The Rangers.
The Pura Pinche Rangers.
Yes.
Yes,
Hey, Jack. So
sir.
we did say earlier, right on the show before you hopped on, but like, I put it in the universe there that at some point we're gonna get together on a yearly basis, at least twice a year, to all go to a Stars game and then all go to a Rangers game. I'm putting it out there. in the
Stars,
universe.
baby.
And
Let's
hey,
go.
Stars,
and in the
baby.
same weekend, we all got to do the podcast together in the same room.
Yep, all podcast same room.
Coming from the guy that hasn't shown up in 6 weeks.
I had a reason. Did you not see her?
I
you
saw the
blind?
reason.
Okay, you saw her. You got 2 eyes. All right, cool. That was a good reason.
Damn.
Damn.
I thought you were blind. Sorry, sir.
Damn,
Whoa.
all right. Touche. I'll let you have it.
Oh.
Cletus up here, you know, the big guy. You can always
What
count
about
on
the big
my
guy?
boy.
That's true. That's true. I'll never
Yeah,
deny
all right. You know what? Hey, that's fun. I get it. Hey, me and Curtin are in the same boat. We're all good. It's all good. It happens.
that. Hey,
Well,
but just to let you know, everybody know real quick, we did lose Benny. Real quick, technical issues. He said his iPad died, so it might be a
Oh.
minute before Benny comes
Gotta
back
learn
on
how
the
to
show.
charge, man.
Or we may not see Benny again. But shout out
Rookie-
to Benny. Okay.
Rookie
so-
mistake.
Hey, Cobbs. Quick question
Yo.
for you. What color are your hats this year? You going red or what'd you
Same
go?
ones. We're doing the same color.
White
Yeah,
with the
they're-
red bill.
They're white on the front, like the front 2 panels are white, red on the back, and then a red bill.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah. Whenever y'all come down, I got y'all. What's that? You got a fat head. What you need, like extra large?
I need large, extra large.
Large
preferably
XL
large.
is what I usually wear.
Yeah, I need
Okay.
that
All
stretchy
stretched,
though.
They're kind of stretchy, wouldn't you say, Jack?
Yeah.
Like once you start sweating them stuff, they start getting a little looser.
I need
Right.
large, extra large for sure. Because
I
the
get
two,
you.
like the 2 hats I got, you
staying
gave
warm?
me were like smalls.
Yeah,
He got rid of all of them.
They sit over here on the top of my little shelf thing, man.
Dude, I didn't have any left at the time, and I was like, I didn't have any big ones left. Like, I don't know where I had all these jug-headed kids, and then now I have all these kids that are, Coach, I need small. Dude, I'm not ordering small of anything for any of you. Grow. Like, I don't order small.
He don't even know small for himself. He's just mad because he's not a small anymore.
You so funny. Coming from the guy that's blind over there.
Dang.
I didn't say I was blind. I'm just saying you want to get together and make a podcast. Well, we'll probably do it, and you won't show up.
I'm
Anyway.
showing up.
Man.
Gosh dang it.
We have to go
Oh.
timestamp the last time he was on to see how long it's been. But
Dude,
yeah.
obviously, we
dude.
know you've been a bit preoccupied with
Yeah.
Yeah, prior
being a
commitment.
dad now. You know what I mean?
It's
So,
been, hey, I will agree. It's probably been since July.
it's been a minute.
Because
Yes,
we had her in
before
August.
Kinsley.
We had her the first week of August.
Yeah,
Dude, it had to be like the last week or the week before of July, like somewhere in July, I bet.
yeah.
Dang, it's almost been as long as like we all got together and played some Warzone. I mean,
Dude,
it's been
hey, I
long
played a
ass
game
time.
last night.
Speaking of that,
Hey,
I was
Yo,
stop.
I played a
Josh.
game like what? I don't know, yesterday maybe during the day, the day before. I won my first game, got carried to the finish line, but I won.
yo, listen, I finally after all the updating and stuff was on all the new stuff that was free for
Hi,
the
Hannah.
most part. I went to the firing range because like I was kind of killing time. Like I didn't know who was gonna hop on all this kind of stuff, and obviously it's been a long time since we played with the game
Dude, it's different.
mechanics and stuff like that. But like doing the fire range, I was like, this shit's gonna suck. Like I tried changing different stuff, nothing ever felt good, in terms of like all that stuff, and I was like, oh, I'm fucked. So I played one game, and it was terrible. Like it felt like my movement was terrible. Trying to aim down sight was terrible. It was, and
We just got to get Jack on there with us. We all 4 got to get on there.
Oh,
Jack
yeah.
will run into a building. We'll figure out they're all there. We can throw a bunch of grenades. Jack will die. We'll kill them. We'll get Jack back. We'll be good.
There we go.
And it's also one of those things. Like the more, like if we do
Good job,
get back,
Benny.
yeah, good job, Benny. Like if we
Hey,
do
rookie
get back
mistake.
into
Your
it,
deal.
like if we really get back into the swing of stuff, like I'm sure like it'll get to the point where like it becomes like normal and you get used to it and all that
Yeah.
stuff. But like that first time, like jumping back into the deep end of it, and like
Boy.
you already know that the people you're playing against, like this is all they probably fucking do. You know what I
You
mean?
talking about COD?
Yeah.
Yes.
I just watch. I'm a watcher. Imagine that.
Don't watch me. It's been terrible. You know what I mean? So,
I
but
don't
what was really kind of cool is like while the game was updating, I have a couple of like screen grabs I got, like from when we used to play, and it's like 3 or 4 clips. And going back and watching those and just sticking back to me like, man, those were the days.
COVID days. Those are the
Those-
COVID days. That's all we did.
Those were the days where we just played for hours on the original Warzone. And
Wish that was my case.
oh
Dude,
man,
that was-
take
All right,
me
quit
back.
talking about the glory days. Glory days are over for you, just like your hair.
Damn!
Ron.
Oh!
You knew it was coming. You knew it was
I
coming.
mean, crap. I downloaded it. It took all day to download, and I'm sitting here waiting to play at like 10 o'clock, and everyone's like, I'm going to bed. All right, boys, screw it. I'll just delete Xbox and move on. So stop
Oh,
it.
no.
Move on.
Okay,
No, next topic.
No, the other day we downloaded, and then yours was done, and then mine was done, and I started playing, and then I hit you up. I hit everybody up in the group chat like, hey,
During
I'm
the
on,
game.
playing.
No,
During the
sir,
football
you did
game.
not.
It was the Eagles game, dude.
I wasn't watching that shit. It was blown out anyways.
No,
was
sir,
playing COD.
you did not. No, you did
He
not.
said
Oh,
it was
hey,
the
hold on.
LFG.
How the
I did too.
tables?
I told you I was on.
Hey, how the tables have turned on Jack. He let down curtain. How the tables
I
have
don't-
turned.
no,
How the
that's fine.
tables have turned,
Hey,
boys.
don't be stirring the pot right now. Don't be stirring the pot right now. Jack's not the
Stir
guy you
it.
stir the pot
Do
with
it.
right now, all right?
Stir it. Do it. Do it.
No, we're not doing this.
Why are we
We're not
stirring
doing
the pot? Because first
Do
off,
it.
Why
I
not?
was watching the Eagles game, first off. And I was
Well, that game
watching
was
Peyton
terrible.
and
So,
Eli.
all right, cool.
I was watching Peyton and Eli. Hannah hates
Yeah.
it, but I love watching Peyton and Eli. So
Oh,
I'm
that's
not going
the-
to
that's
stop
the
watching
greatest-
Peyton and
that's
Eli.
That's
That's
the
the
best
greatest
Monday
thing
night.
is-
Yeah, so I'm not
Maybe
going to
you-
stop watching
yes.
that to go play Call
That's
of
the
Duty.
greatest thing ESPN's
Do it at the
ever
same
done.
time.
Pro move.
So I could be Pixels?
I mean, you
My
already are.
Wi-Fi
So that
isn't good enough.
dude, nothing could
Actually,
be happening. You're still
actually,
pixels.
Pixels is gone. Pixels hasn't been,
Did y'all fix
been
your
in on a
internet?
while. It was Adam that was Pixels last time. So
That's
get on my back here.
I haven't
stir
got
the
the
pot.
pixels.
Oh, I
Stay
know.
over there.
Yeah, but you did pixels first, so it doesn't count for Adam no more.
He's been Pixels one time and didn't show back up.
Well, ooh, that's rough.
He was pixelated out of the podcast, obviously.
Ooh.
Damn.
Hey, Adam,
Because he went pixeled out and he hasn't been back on. And
Adam,
he
I hope
knows
you don't
what it
listen.
is.
Sounds like you just got pixeled and booted out.
Damn.
And there were only 5.
Oh, by the way, Cletus, I've challenged myself to watch Reacher when I'm on the treadmill,
Yeah.
and I just finished an episode where
Dude.
they leave you with the cliffhanger, and I'm like, no way, I can't walk another 45
Dude.
hour to see what happens. Like, I can't.
Hey,
There's no
Let me
way. And then
second
end you
on
with
that.
the cliffhanger.
what a freaking show!
Dude.
Dude,
Like,
hey,
dude.
listen.
I'm almost done with second
listen.
season, but what a show!
Dude.
Listen, everybody pause. Everybody pause
Dude.
right now. Everybody pause. Cletus and I
Dude.
talked about this weeks ago when we talked
Dude.
about TV show and we talked about Reacher, and then Jack started watching it. Obviously, Cobbs, you watched it. Benny, I don't know if you watched it or not, but
Dude.
you need to if you haven't.
It's so good.
It's a
so
great
good.
show.
I'm trying to
Jack's
watch
on
it right
season
now.
1. It gets better with each episode. Season 2 is just the same.
Yes,
Jack, you're gonna be walking 10 miles in one day. One of these days.
yeah, you
It's gonna
need
be
to.
great.
Yes, dude.
It is a great.
You need wow. Whoa.
By the way, he is freaking yoked in the
Yes.
second season.
Alan Richmond, yes.
That's what I told
dude,
Jack. I
dude.
told Jack he's even more yoked in the second.
Yes, dude. He's at
like
his
230.
abs got abs, and then those abs got abs,
It looks like
Why
a
are
spark.
you checking out his ass, bro?
dude. Because it's in the middle of the screen,
'Cause they're right
That's kinda
there.
sus.
literally.
It's hard.
Yeah,
I mean, it's hard to miss it.
I don't know.
Like all
Like-
of us combined don't even have one of his abs. Okay, you know
No,
what I mean?
not
Like,
at all.
we are envious of what he is. Like if I
Like,
could,
we need to get on his routine.
if I could recreate a curtain, like go to create a curtain, like it would be like what he looks like. You know what I mean?
He
Like,
wants to be
create
Alan
a
Richmond. He wants to
Dude,
be
that
Thad,
Joker, man.
Thad, and Reacher.
But
Dude.
yes, so that's a great show. But walking when you watch the show is a good challenge because you get to the bottom end of it with the cliffhanger. You're like,
I
like today,
yeah.
Hannah was giving me a hard time because I walk in the kitchen and I was sweating. She goes, "Why are you sweating?" I was like, "It was a good part.
It was so good.
I was like,
Oh, what
drenched
cops?
I was like, it was drenched in sweat. And I'm like,
I
why?
thought
you
he had ran a marathon.
Hey.
Don't laugh at me. You watch. Don't laugh at me. You watch out. Stop.
You're damn right I did.
Hey, Jack, what did I tell you today though? What did I tell you today, Jack? Let the boys
I
know.
inspired him.
Hey, you inspired me to go try to maybe look for a treadmill to do the same thing. To get
Hell
my
yeah.
to get my fat ass, my PHATS off the couch
Hey,
and watch these
I
shows.
feel you, dog. I
I
feel
like
you.
it.
Hey, that scene probably was perfect to record. It'd be just like Step Brothers. Let's watch Cops. Splitty, let's watch Cops.
Yes.
That's
Well,
sweaty.
I'll tell you, it was the end of episode 7, season.
Oh, dude, yeah.
You guys
just
know.
wait.
You guys all know what happened.
Just
there.
wait.
And you're like,
Hey,
really,
get there, baby.
really, Richard?
Get
You
there.
can't do
Dude,
this.
just
And I was
wait.
telling
There,
somebody,
baby.
it's like, it's a connection of Ozark, Breaking Bad, and the one more show I can't together, but it's all 3 in one. That is like, I can't figure out the third one, but all together make it like, because Ozark has that where he's in it and you figure things out, and then Breaking Bad, the action scenes were taken out, boss by boss by boss, and I can't. If you ever watch Breaking Bad, it's what happens. He literally gets his way up to the
Yeah,
empire.
that's a good show too. But anyway, another like obviously that's a great show, and I'm in obviously watching that one. I just got done watching Monarch: Legacy of Monsters, which if you're big into Godzilla and all this stuff, great show. Uh, but last night, and it's been one I've been wanting to watch for a while because I'm a huge fan of the game series, and I'm pretty sure like how many of you here like are big Halo guys?
Me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think for the most
love-
part,
The
I think for
show, the show came new one, right? New season came out.
I think for the most part, for most of us, we're pretty good, because we were there at the
I-
beginning of Halo and kind of
dude,
have gone through it.
Yeah.
I
But
couldn't
just
finish
started-
the first season.
I just
I
started
could
it.
not finish it.
I just started the season. I'm through 3 episodes, and when I got done watching it last night, like I'll tell you, like I felt really like it. Jack, this is how I felt was walking out of Jurassic World Dominion. It was so mixed feelings, but more towards a negative, like what's happening because I just went into I went into the TV show blind. Like I just saw Halo and I was like, let's watch this. It's been a while. Let me watch it. First episode comes. Like I don't want to be spoiler. Like if you haven't seen it, whatever. But like I won't. First season, the first episode comes and the first like scenes, if you will. I'm just like, oh, let's fucking go. This is badass. You know what I mean? Like it's just like if you're a
The
video
game.
fanatic, it's awesome, right? And then it gets into the story and some of the other stuff, and you're like, kind of like, you start having question marks about certain things. You're like, wait a minute, is this gonna
That
tie-
wasn't in the game. That
Yeah.
wasn't in the game.
Yeah, this wasn't in the
Hollywood,
game
baby.
story. Like, is this gonna be a tie-in to something? Is this real part of going to be the same canon of every stuff? And so, of course, just like me, like when I watch stuff, what do I do when I get done watching it? I go read about it, right? And so I
Nerd.
went and I'm a nerd. So after the first, of course I watched 3, so I went read a recap about episode 1, and then in that recap, which wasn't really a good recap of episode 1, but then they basically said that the TV show is not within the same kind of like canon, if you will, of the game, and I was just like, oh no, like come on, like no, like 'cause in my mind I'm like, after I got done watching, I'm like trying to piece together how they're gonna do all this stuff, and then it comes out like it's not even in the same like universe of as the games. I'm just like, oh, this fucking sucks. Now, one of the best parts is when they, and again, this is gonna be the only spoiler I ruin if you haven't watched it yet, or for the viewers that haven't watched it yet, right? But is when they bring Cortana in, and it's the same lady voicing her.
Oh, hell yeah.
That's cool.
Dope.
Well done, Halo.
Yeah, you
people.
got to do
Well
that.
done.
That's
So far, everything else, I'm gonna let it play out. I'm gonna watch it,
It's
and
I've
heard nothing. I've heard nothing good about it. So
Yeah.
my hopes have been kind of shattered, but we'll see how it finishes. But based on how the story's going, I think I'm gonna be like everybody else and be like, what the fuck's going on? But
right.
we'll see.
Could be worse.
Hey, I got Blaze to watch Hunger Games for the first time.
Yeah,
Ooh,
did watch that.
You can have
Well,
never a fan of Hunger Games.
and
Really?
so-
Yeah, I liked Hunger
Same.
Games.
oh,
Y'all can have that one.
Yeah,
That's
I was
fine.
never really a fan of it. I don't
Yeah,
think I finished it, though.
like I watched the prequel, and then I was like, "Oh, okay." And so then we did watch the Hunger Games, and so I kind of had some content. I feel like some of that. God, are you tired, Cleet? I mean,
A little bit, yeah.
late nights.
I've been going to bed
I'm
like
just
at
gonna-
Don't
8:39
answer
o'clock.
that. Don't answer that.
Don't
Just because
answer.
Benny's speaking now, you gotta be like that now? What?
Yeah.
Either way, I
No. Okay. No, I mean, listen here, Benny. I critiqued their podcast when it was just those two, and I'm proud. Since I've been on, I haven't heard crinkle, 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 crinkle.
Damn.
Since you've been on, you also have been coherent and haven't pixelated yet. So
Yeah. Hey man,
What to bring back pictures,
ping, ping, ping.
Cletus. And you know, I was shout out to our listener. He knows who he is.
yeah,
He
listener,
comment.
your singular one.
I said it. He made a comment to me, and I said, "How did me and Cletus do holding down the fort while everybody wasn't?" He goes, "Well, I haven't got it to the part where everybody shows up. If you haven't checked out last week's episode, me and Cletus hold down the fort for an hour. Right? We have good conversation. We talk about Nick Saban and all this, and then the bald baron comes in and tries to take over the show that we just literally spent an hour talking about.
I'm talking about.
And I tell Cleet, get him, Cleet, get Curtin. This is what he says. Go back to 30 minutes before you got on and listen. Later than he attacks was later. And I was like, Cleet, you had a chance to attack the dude and you just go back. Go back. Come on, Cleet. That was shouted out. That was told to me today. He said he was really hoping that Cletus would tear into him.
I got him later.
I got him. I got him.
Damn,
If you didn't know,
I'm glad
if you didn't know this, Cletus,
Hey, I don't
if you
know who
don't know this,
listener is.
Cletus,
I'm
you
glad
were probably the
I'm glad he
favorite.
wants people to come at me. Let's go. Come at me. Let's go, dog. Let's go.
Easy. If you didn't know this, I'll show you. Cletus is probably the favorite character on this show. Cletus is probably the favorite.
Oh,
All right, then, Cleet.
No doubt.
Josh, quit hurting Pamela.
What?
Wait, what?
I said, Josh, quit hurting Pamela.
Hurting Pamela.
Is there a D applause button on here? Take away.
Take
That's new. Holy crap, that's awful.
That's a new one. He's been playing with it.
Yeah. But he's the only one that when we do this recording, that he's the only one that's like this.
Up close and personal, boys. Hey, you got to voice it over. Up close and personal.
It's
The man.
so up and close. Hey, it's so up and close, personal that we know we call them mud flaps. We can actually hear that.
Damn. You're talking about stirring the pot. You're stirring the pot with Cletus here, big guy. Whatever happens from this point on, I'm just telling you, I warned you.
This is like one of those moments, like when you got your opportunity, you
you
better
take
strike
it.
right now. You better strike that shit right now because
Yeah.
hey, but we all know that on this show that Cleet has the absolute most like greatest burn on me, and it was like way early in the podcast. I don't even know what it was about. I just know it was super. It was one of those like in the night podcasts right now because it was that type of burn. So like everything I do right now is just everything I do right now is just.
I
Top
remember.
liver to that. It's not even close to what he did.
I remember
so,
what it was.
I think as I start to remember now, yeah, I can.
I remember what it was. Look at his smile.
Yeah, he knows. He knows that he's gonna let me shoot my shots now, but he's already had the biggest one, so it's all right. But
Well,
oh, yeah, that was great. Oh, thank you.
All right, since we had so
You
much
can
fun
laugh
with
too,
our
man. You can laugh to this bit. Let's go, laugh, motherfucker. Let's go.
It has to be
All right,
funny
Cleve.
to laugh, Josh. If it's funny, I'll laugh.
We got 80% of the people laughing, so it's funny. So.
Yeah. So, well, some of us is,
I love you though. But.
I know.
we so all right. Who we got for this week's divisional round of the playoffs? Who we got, Cletus?
Oh, hey, yeah, let's go. Let's say Cletus. Let's go.
I said Cletus. Is your name Cletus?
I was gonna say the guy that go.
who?
freaking like
Let's
it's
go
like
49ers, Packers first. Go first.
Niners.
Niners by a lot or little.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me write this one down so we know.
Yeah, I could see him blowing them out. I mean, honestly.
You say a lot. All right. Niners by a lot. All right, Coblet, what do you got? Niners, Packers.
I got Niners too.
A lot or little?
Lot.
Lot or little? By a lot. Niners by a lot. Niners by a landslide by the red beard. All right. Benny.
Niners.
Lightning Blaze. Niners or Packers?
Niners.
A lot or little?
A lot.
Niners by a lot.
What do we say?
Niners by 100.
What do we say a
All right.
lot is? What's
Yeah,
a
what do we
lot?
say? Is a
10.
lot like 21 plus?
14?
Double digits or more.
Okay,
scores,
so 10 or more.
Double digits.
Two
So
scores.
10 or more?
Yes.
10 or more.
Yeah.
2 score like 2 touchdowns or more.
Yes. 10 or more is a lot.
Two
A
possessions.
little
Two
is
possessions.
7, 10 or
Yeah,
less. All right. Joshua, what do you got?
I'm also going to
Niners, Packers.
I'm also going to be on the same caravan as everybody as the 49ers, but I'm going to say the game's going to be close.
I
Niners
can
by a
see it.
little.
But again,
All right.
that's the
Be
NFL.
different. Be different.
Oh,
Packers by a little.
Ooh.
Packers by a little.
Jordan Love's
All
gonna.
right.
Jordan Love's going to have the best game of his career again.
Yep. Okay, here we go. We'll stay in
NFC.
Let's go AFC. Let's go AFC.
Okay,
All right,
let's go.
We're gonna go Baltimore Texans. Baltimore Texans, Benny Blaze. Texans or Baltimore. A lot or little?
By a little.
Baltimore by a little?
Yes.
Baltimore by a little. All right, Joshua.
Ooh,
Texans, Baltimore.
Ravens by a lot.
Ravens by a lot.
Wow. A lot of
And
Ravens.
Coblet. Ravens, Texans. A lot or little?
Yeah, I'm going to say Ravens by a little.
Ravens by a little. All right, Cletus.
All right, now everyone
Ravens.
say little.
Ravens.
You hear that a
by
lot, don't
li-
you, big guy?
yeah.
Yes.
He says no. It's average.
The motion of the ocean.
Ravens by a little.
Ravens
Okay.
by a little. I'm be different. Texans by a little.
Ooh, again.
Go NFC again. NFC again. All right. Lions.
Oh, this
Tampa
is the
Bay.
one. This is the one.
Lions, Tampa Bay. We'll lead off the show with Redbeard. What you got?
I'm assuming everybody's going to pick lines. I'm going different. I'm going Tampa Bay by a little.
Mm.
A little. All right, Benny. What you got?
I was gonna hop on the Baker Mayfield show just because it seems like he's got the energy. You know, he's feeling dangerous. So I'm gonna go with Baker Mayfield in the box.
Baker Mayfield by a little or a lot?
By a little. I think
By a
he's
little. All right, Cletus.
The fighting Dan Campbell's by a little.
The Fighting Dick by a little. The Giants by a little. All right, Joshua.
I got the same thing. They beat my Rams. I think they got a better defense. Let's go Lions by a little.
I say Lions by 10.
So Lions by a lot.
So by
Lions by a lot.
All right,
Lions
last
by
game.
Quit making things different.
Last game, the game that is going to be incredible.
It's somewhat historic. Well, it's not really historical, but for
This is what I'm talking about, old Patty, man. This is the
for
first
home,
road playoff
First
game.
road playoff game.
That's impressive. That's
great.
big boy money worthy.
That's great. Amen.
Big boy money worthy.
Amen. And he deserves all the money he gets.
That's big boy money worthy right there. Every bit of it. This is your first playoff game or road playoff game away, and he is what, 1 or 2 playoff wins away from beating some of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Think about that for a second, too.
Okay, Jack. So what do you got?
Chiefs by a little.
Okay. Blaze.
I'm not going against Patrick Mahomes.
What?
I'm going Patrick Mahomes by a little.
Okay.
Chiefs by a little.
Cobbs.
Boy, that's tough. Bill's playing good football lately, too. Picked it up toward the end of the year. But again, it's hard to go against Patty, man. Patty Mahomes is just different in the playoffs. I'm going Chiefs by a little. And when I say a little, like, we're talking 3 points or less.
Okay.
3 points or less. Field
Lee?
goal? Chiefs
Yeah,
by
at
field
least.
goal.
Bills by a little.
Mm.
I'll go against
What you got,
Petty.
Josh?
Petty M.
You win. Well, me and you both went against Patty in the Super Bowl last year. We both ended up losing, big guy.
That's
true.
Just so you know, I'm fact
Now,
checking you there.
here's what's the really the difficult thing for us to think about this game. It's in Buffalo. Okay, so the cold.
It's not even gonna be that cold, right?
But it's
Bills
still,
Mafia is going to be.
it's
What's
still
that?
gonna
Well,
be
how cold is it?
Different.
What's the weather? They said it's not gonna be as bad as it was the week before in Kansas
What-
City.
I don't think it's supposed
What
to
is
be
it?
that bad.
Sunday? Is it a Sunday night?
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
It's a 6:30 game Sunday.
Oh.
Or for us, yeah.
That's where I'll be at.
all right, so Sunday is a high of 43 and a low of 28 on Sunday.
Oh, that'll be all right.
Nothing in Buffalo. That ain't nothing in
Well,
Buffalo.
That's a nice spring day.
They compared to what we had last week.
I don't know. I know
We were
it's hard.
colder here than in Buffalo.
I know. I know it's hard to go. I'm probably going to regret this again, but I'm going to take Buffalo by a lot. Let's be
Oof.
different. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Buffalo by
10
a
plus.
lot.
By 10 plus. Let's go. That's my take. I'm going to live and die with that. I'm either going to be good or I'm going to sink. Let's go. I'm going to take
Hey, Kelsey's taking over, boys.
Kelsey
He's
has
finally going to come out.
The only
Wow,
thing Kelsey's
Buffalo.
taken over. The only thing Kelsey's taken over recently is social media because of who he's dating.
And T
Yeah,
Swizzle, baby.
you're right about that. You're
That's
right
it.
about
T
that.
Swizzle.
But,
But
all
you
right.
know, I did say this a couple weeks ago to Joshua and my brother. How storybook is a team that scraped through the regular season? Their offense hasn't figured things out. They've been carried by their defense. How storybook would it be that the Chiefs wake up and their offense leads the charge when their defense has led the team all year? That sounds like some storybook Madden type stuff.
to
You
win
know?
another
Sounds
Super
like it's-
Bowl. And
Sounds
then
like
Yeah,
it's going to happen.
and then somehow it becomes another album, like another country album, whatever she's pop album, and it becomes a global sensation. You know what I mean? Like
Hey.
the Lost Kingdom, or whatever it's going to be called, the Red Kingdom, whatever you want to call it, becomes
Yeah.
double platinum, triple
Hey, hold
platinum,
on.
whatever.
Let's add to that, too. Kelsey joined in with his brother on the Christmas album. He's going to join in on the album with T Swizzle.
Oh,
Hey,
Whoa.
we're going to add to it.
Ooh,
That's an interesting take.
Add the little spice.
Little
Yeah.
size,
It's going to be a surprise
Little sizzle.
visit on stage at a concert.
Wow.
Interesting. So I can't wait. We all can't wait for more football this weekend. But
More
what about-
football.
let's think about it. Let's look at off the field a little bit here in the NFL. Obviously, there's several open positions right now within NFL.
For-
We've heard some names. We've heard Harbaugh's interviewed in LA. I think Atlanta as
You're going
well.
this route. Okay.
We got Belichick. He's interviewed in Atlanta. We talked about earlier Raheem Morris from the Rams. He's got some guy. He's lined up for some stuff. A lot of people are going to be, I guess, interviewed as well. Obviously the Panthers are looking. The Raiders are looking, which I think for the most of us on here, this whole show, I think we can all agree that if the Raiders do not go with Antonio Pierce, they better hit a home run, or it's going to be an absolute,
They
Thanks,
they
Charles.
better hire Harbaugh if they don't hit on Antonio Pierce.
I agree. That's who I said too. I said Harbaugh would be the guy that keep them off their butts.
Yeah.
If they get another coordinator, that's already in the NFL and they make them the head coach that isn't Pierce, they're gonna have some riots. But if they get
also
Harbaugh,
interesting-
then it won't be a big deal.
What also is interesting is that Pierce is also he did so well at with the Raiders that his name is starting to generate buzz with other franchises. So if the Raiders don't kind of like, hey, let's we messed up the first time and we should have got the other guy. Let's just give this guy. If they don't, then his guy's going to go to another franchise, and it could be something where they look back and be like, oh, we should have got him. But obviously,
you know where that guy is at right now?
No.
Green Bay, baby.
That's
Green
true.
Bay.
Green Bay.
He's a special teams coordinator at Green Bay.
That's true.
Oh,
So he had some
oh,
Versace.
Excuse me. We also have the Commanders, I believe, are also open. We got the Patriots the Patriots have filled with from within with
Mayo, baby.
with Mayo, which apparently has been something that's been in the works behind the scenes. So interested to see how that plays out for him. So first off, congratulations to Jared Mayo and wish you all the best there in New England. Um, obviously, there's some other openings there that we're looking to see how things play out. Will there be any future openings? Obviously, the Cowboys are going to stay put. Do the Eagles make a move, or do they keep Nick Sirianni for another year and to see if they can work through um, the issues with what they got? Obviously, Jason Kelsey will be retiring, so shout out to
Shout
him.
out.
And what
One
a
more
great career he's had. So it's going to be interesting to see how the NFL head coaching market, if you will, how the dominoes fall. I think it's going to be maybe. Would y'all maybe agree, like if it's going to wait come maybe Harbaugh and then Belichick kind of find places and the rest of it
Yeah.
falls in place, or is it going to be some other guys get it and then they kind of fill in the gaps, or
It
This
seems
is
like it's kind of weird. It's like a weird, like they're all at a stalemate right now. Like most of the time, they get them, they fire their guy Black Monday, and then they get their replacement a week or two later. But they're all
What-
like at a stalemate, waiting the shakeout of the playoffs. Like
yeah.
it
There's
looks to
a
me,
lot of high quality candidates available right now.
true?
yeah, like
You know,
Vrabel.
obviously like Vrabel, Harbaugh, Belichick. If he's still,
Yep.
I bet Belichick coaches until he breaks that all-time win record.
Yeah,
And that might
Ron
be the last
Rivera,
goal. That might be
Riverboat
the last
Ron.
goal he won. But there also is great potential candidates that are still playing.
Yeah.
You
Agreed.
know, like the Lions OC is the guy that's a hot commodity.
They're
And DC.
DC. They're DC's. Tampa's DC.
Dang,
I
you all
don't
right?
know.
Yeah, hiccups.
Tampa's DC. What is it? The Niners OC and
Oh.
DC, which you know they always build great coordinators because now three of them are head coaches. You have Green Bay's OC,
Yep.
but it is what it is.
It's gonna be
We'll just-
interesting. To see
it's
how-
like they're waiting for the shakeout of things and what it looks like to me.
Well,
To me.
that, but it's
Almost.
almost like they're waiting to see what Belichick does because they're all, I mean, it is who he
and
is.
Harbaugh. I think
And
Harbaugh
Harbaugh.
can be
And
thrown in that
Harbaugh.
there.
Like it's almost like they're all waiting for that because they all want to have their hands in on it somehow, which anybody would at that point, really, truthfully.
And it's also kind of to the point too, like where Belichick and Harbaugh and maybe Vrabel can be in the tier below it, but like those are kind of like the big fish on the market. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So like if you're an organization, you're looking for maybe a splash hire, if you will, somebody that's going to come in and revitalize your franchise. You know what I mean? Like you're going to give somebody like Belichick a call. He's earned that at least a call. Same with Harbaugh, and then once those guys kind of like decide where they're going to go, or if Harbaugh decides to go back to Michigan, then I think that's where you're going to see the rest of the dominoes fall. The rest of the
Did you
franchises are open.
see that
agree.
report where it said like in his contract negotiations with Michigan, Harbaugh is asking for like immunity
immunity?
or something, immunity from the NCAA.
Yes,
Basically, if they don't give him that, I think he's walking to the
I
NFL.
think
I bet he
I-
goes to the NFL.
I think he goes no matter what, based on what occurred this past year with
Yeah,
it. Just
the
seemed
sign
was kind
stealing.
of like that, and then like obviously they got in trouble for that, which I think is something that a lot of programs do. They just got caught doing it.
Agreed.
Whatever,
Agreed.
but just kind of like it almost kind of like, and I'm not a Michigan guy. I'm not really a Harbaugh guy, but it kind of felt like there was a witch hunt. Like after that kind of occurred, like then they were kind of looking for anything
So-
else to try to pin on him. So it's just like,
I can see that.
So he goes to the NFL. Michigan hires their
Yeah,
OC.
their OC.
I would
He's
Their
the OC.
Michigan hires Brian Kelly.
No.
I've heard that too.
I would like for Brian Kelly just for the fact I love to see LSU scramble, and that's entertaining for
know-
me personally.
We know.
And I
Take the
hate
foil
the
hat
Bayou
off and the
Bengals.
fandom hat.
I hate the Bayou Bengals. So
yeah. It would be interesting to see
if
like if
they can
Harbaugh
just start
left.
scrambling and start
It-
losing guys,
It would be interesting to see if
Big
Harbaugh
fan.
left, how the dominoes would fall.
Going to
Michigan.
LSU.
It would be interesting from the college
Agreed.
perspective if Harbaugh left to see how the dominoes would fall after that, because we just saw
Well,
last
it's like
week.
the whole thing with like Nick Saban.
Yeah, we just
Okay. Did y'all see this? Oh, me and Josh have already talked about it. Did you guys see this? he left Washington, went to Alabama, right?
Yeah.
His players didn't know he left until they saw the press conference of him leaving. If you're in that shoes as a head coach, if you're in his shoes as a head coach, do you like that?
No. I want to try to be as fluid and candid
And
as
he
my
wasn't.
players as I can.
He wasn't.
I know.
They had
I
no idea he
understand that.
left.
Players got to know.
Now, I will say this: everything okay, so obviously last Wednesday when we got together and spoke was when we got the news that Saban was retiring, and we had all these
Yeah.
candidates out there, and for the most part, of course they threw Stark out there and Lane Kiffin and those guys, but those guys necessarily, in my opinion, and I think they made somewhat the right choice, but they weren't going to leave because they were already building their program in a good trajectory, right? And then so you had guys like the Washington
But
State
you said Kirby, bruh.
I did
Landing.
say Kirby. I did. I'll admit that I said Kirby as like one of those.
Continue.
Hey, they're gonna throw their. At least they're gonna. At
And
least
I don't think they
win.
did. I don't
No, I
think
don't
they
think
did.
they either.
DeBoy,
I think
DeBoe.
after coming out, I think
Who
it was
they
like
hire?
what was
They did.
DeBoyer.
DeBoer.
At one point, like when it got like truly serious, if you will, was DeBoyer, the Florida State head coach, or promoting Tommy Reese.
Lanning at Oregon.
Well, I think was their first swing at, and he said no.
Right.
And then of course
He called Clemson too.
Yeah, Dabo, all stuff.
The freaking Bama fans, anyone but Dabo, that chant they did during basketball.
Yeah, which is so ironic because like if it was a couple of years ago, like some people said 4 years ago, but like even if you go 2 years ago and this happened, everybody is clamoring for Dabo. Everybody's clamoring for Dabo. He has one and again, they might rebound and be like old Clemson, or they might fall back to being
older Clemson.
But like,
no one likes purple.
Like I'll say this: like if Miami became open tomorrow and Dabo was a guy that they could realistically go get,
You're excited.
I would go get Dabo. Look, he's a program builder and he's gonna win. That's what he's gonna do. Now, his stock has kind of dropped down a little bit.
Listen to this. So right now, top 5 draft picks that have left Clemson. We could take Deshaun Watson out of this conversation, but in the last since Dabo's been at Clemson, you know how many draft picks he's had at Clemson?
Oh, tons.
And how many of them play on Sunday?
Tons.
He's top 3.
Tons.
Did you know that?
Guys that have been productive in the league, tons.
It's Alabama, Georgia, Clemson, Texas.
Look
it up. Josh can fact check me.
Yeah, out of that real quick, out of those 4 teams that you've mentioned, real quick, out of those 4 teams, out of those 4 teams you've mentioned, you talk about Bama had guys that drafted, Georgia guys drafted, Clemson guys drafted, and then you throw Texas in there.
Damn right.
And
I'm like,
hey, you know what? All those teams have in common except one within the last
they all win
5 years,
except for Texas.
They all have a national championship.
Yeah,
I agree.
And they also have quarterbacks, starting quarterbacks in the league.
We're back.
Yeah, I agree.
Ellinger's like
we're like, hey, I will say it.
Stop it. That's your claim to fame. Stop it.
I will say it. Hey, we're like the team of like glorified backups in the league. I get it. Colton's backup. He's been there forever. Ellinger's still a backup. I mean, shit. Hey, Vince Young threw his life away in the league. I mean, it's cool. I get it.
But he did come back and be a backup.
But I will say that. I will say that about Clemson and Dabo. So I'm a fan. You guys know this. But I think the transfer portal NIL deal is hurting Clemson because he doesn't want to get his little finger pitched.
I think that's
he refused to play the game.
Yeah,
he refused to play that game.
And I think that's what. And if he
Saban though.
I think that's also what drew. I think that's also what kind of pushed Saban to the point where he's like, all right, I don't want to deal with all this stuff because with the introduction of NIL and the portal. It is now adding so much more of, I don't want to say a burden to coaches, but now it's just another element that these guys previously were exhausting so much all year round with recruiting and coaching and doing all this stuff. Now it gets to the point with NIL, which for the most part, I agree with NIL. I think these players deserve to get somewhat of the financial pie that is the billion-dollar industry of college football. They deserve a piece of it, right? And the biggest thing for me and it's just from whatever, but like, is the NCAA? This is all the NCAA's fault.
Agreed.
You know what I mean? Like, they the just and what it seemed like was like when the portal came out and NIL came out, they just like it came out and they just dropped it on the table and said like, all right, y'all figure this shit out.
And
And
they
it
won't
was
try
the
to.
and
Yeah.
it's been a madhouse. Like every time the portal opens, it's a new record in terms of how many kids jump in the portal, right? NIL comes out. It's always a thing about, you go to all these schools and like, how much can I get paid from you, right? And it's changing the game from what it used to be. And you may be a fan of it, you may not. You may be more old school in terms of how things were done. But you're gonna have to adjust because this is a new game. Like, and I'm talking
Yeah.
about like for people that have skin in the game now in college right now. You have to
Yeah.
adjust. If not, then you're
Here,
behind the 8 ball.
I agree.
here's something, and I liked what again. Just y'all forgive me a little bit. What Elko did. Okay, he brought a guy from Duke to be the general manager of recruiting. So
Great call.
basically,
Great
his
call.
job is to manage the current, like look at it at the current roster, the future roster, and figure out what problems are coming down the pipeline so they can get in front of it early.
Yep.
Yep.
And I
And
think
that's exactly what college football is going to be.
that, and I
With
think that's what's
it's
Yeah.
gonna
it's
grow.
they're going to need GM.
Yeah,
They're going to need
I think that's
GM
when it's gonna
football, college
and
football compared like they do in the NFL.
and
Yeah.
it already kind of grew. Of course, on field. I think they can only have 11 on field coaches in college football.
Oh,
But
all the
But you kind of
analysts.
seen, but yeah, you kind of seen like schools that kind of afforded to where they had all these people behind the scenes doing stuff, which was basically those guys. They could bring in former head coaches or OCs, and they basically didn't have to worry about coaching or the recruiting aspect. They could just worry
What
about the X and O's and stuff.
the
But
Nick Saban
Yeah.
coaching rehabilitation program?
Yep.
yeah, but like what you're gonna see now, I feel, and Cleat, it was a great point what he said. Is like now teams, which it's always been big for them to have good recruiting department because recruiting is the lifeblood of college football. Now you have the portal, but it's just an extension of recruiting. You know what I mean? Like whether
Yeah.
keeping your kids or recruiting kids from other programs. But I think now maybe you're gonna see programs start to develop more of their recruiting uh, personnel to
Yes.
counterbalance what's going on because you're going to need to
Yeah,
and
because
just to put it blunt, in today's college football, which we can all agree, not only are you having to go out and recruit future kids, all your high school kids, which
yep.
should be the baseline of your program because those are the kids that come through the program. Recruit the portal, and then you're gonna have to
But
recruit and keep
your
your own
roster.
kids.
So
Yeah,
basically,
you got to recruit your current roster.
Mhm.
Yep.
in DFW.
DFW.
What recruiting? That
But
leave
the
that.
thing, but the how things have played in college football, which we can agree or disagree, but like, say the five of us right now are head coaches at prominent D1 school,
Screw all
okay,
there.
and we go every year and we're recruiting head to head, and we sign these top 10, top 15 classes of high school kids. Well, when those kids get on campus, yeah, you have them for that year,
Yeah.
but after that,
How do you keep them?
Free for all.
you don't know. That kid may not like you. That kid may not get enough playing time. You may not offer him a big enough NIL deal. And then when the
Tampering.
portal,
Yeah.
I think
Tampering.
that's a big thing too. That's not really hit upon yet. But like when it
LSU.
comes time for the portal to open, and say I got a kid that was a 5-star kid that came and played for me, and I'm trying to like old school where like, hey, you're gonna earn your way up through this, this stuff, and we got guys in front of you, and then
Nah, dog.
the
Come
portal
over
comes
here.
and
You get
Cleat
an
like
NIL deal.
and then Cleat says like, "Hey,
Texas got
man,
the
you come
money.
start for us. We're gonna give you 500K more than what you made at, school X." Come
Sorry,
on,
coach.
Hey,
See ya.
Hey
I'm
man,
out.
You can
I
play.
got Mike McCarthy. I got Mike McCarthy on speed dial here, man. You
yeah.
want to play in the pros? You want to play for the Cowboys? Like, come on.
Hey, slide over here. We'll pay you 250K extra each year. We
real.
know some people.
Pay you we'll pay you this, and then come on down. I can get you. I can meet you. You can meet pros.
Mm.
So
Hey, I know a lot of famous people. You can come to my university. We'll put them on the sideline. We'll get you connected, right? We'll be Flash.
Hey, Hey, we're from Texas, man. Like, hey, we'll love to have you. And you're gonna play in the pros without a doubt. Just as long as you're not a QB, we'll be all
This
right.
guy said we're from Texas. What the fuck?
As long as you're not a QB, we'll be fine.
First
Don't
off,
worry.
Man, have you heard his sales pitch
Yeah.
for things?
man.
No.
His sales pitch is terrible.
Wait, hey,
it's
That's
almost
why
as bad as I'm sure you've heard of some stories about me.
That's why I'm not the sales pitch guy.
Hey, check it out. Check it out. Hey, you like little baby? He's gonna be here tomorrow. Come through. Let's go.
That's-
All right, boys. Hey, I gotta get out, get Kinsley down. She's screaming in there. So
Hey, Cobbs, it's a pleasure, man. Thanks for coming
Yeah,
back
man.
on. Remember, you're always welcome. So come back on. Bring
Yeah,
Kinsley
man.
Bronk on the show.
hopefully
We'll
next
take
highlight
weekend
of it all.
baseball. Hey,
Gosh.
baseball starts
We'll
hot
take
and
you
heavy
over
on
that sometime.
Friday. So
Amen.
we'll see what happens.
We'll tell Tiger baseball, baby.
Yeah, man. Hey, we're starting hot and heavy. We're gonna try to make a run.
Season ticket holder.
Hey,
You
hold
lost your
up.
second biggest supporter.
Tell Tyler softball.
Ooh,
Let's
yeah.
go.
Break it down the roof, baby. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Y'all running, aren't y'all, Jack? Right here. You going?
Jack's gonna have to know all those chants too, like "We want a batter, not a broken
Hey.
ladder."
Yeah. Have fun with that.
Oh yeah, I forgot the softball. Oh, it was softball
Yeah,
chant.
all the
Hey, the
chants.
good news.
Come
Hey,
on,
the
Jack.
good news about all of this
Jack's
is
like,
whenever
FML,
Kinsley's ready to play
baby,
softball, I don't have to
FML.
worry about it. Jack, you got her. Have at her, man.
You're
I know
the
she'll be
head
safe.
softball coach.
I know she'll be safe. She'll also, not get away with anything. Hey, get after it. Let's do it.
Yeah,
The head
Jack's
softball
loving
coach is
it.
up here in the corner.
Let's go.
That ain't me, big dog. I don't know nothing about softball.
Yes,
And
sir.
I do.
Oh, baseball.
You
It's
might
just,
know more.
it's just a
Hey,
bigger ball.
Actually, hey, we'll see what you do.
I got-
Okay, I coached two
I got-
softball games. Actually, I coached two softball games last year. I'm 0-2. So if you get one win, you're ahead. You're the head softball coach, big dog.
Just make him baseball coach automatic. Let's go.
Hey,
Yeah.
man, I got kicked out of a slow pitch softball game, so I'm not very good known
You
for
did do
this.
that. You did do that.
Hey, if you do this year, Jack, I hope I'm there for this moment. Right. But if you're there and for some reason you get upset and you get thrown out, I want you to do just like the MLB managers.
the
I
dirt.
want you to go scream in the umpire's face. I want you to throw your hat down. I want you to just kick some dirt, and then I want you to walk off.
No,
That's
you
all I
got
want
to
you
take.
to do.
Hey, on your way out. Make sure you take first or third base out and throw it to the middle of the field.
Yeah,
That's what I want.
I
want my money's worth.
I'm competitive, right? So, but I'm not gonna do something like that because I can't argue a call with a guy because I don't know half the rules.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Make
I
that
know,
shit
I know
up.
enough.
You got some
I know
parent
enough to be
yelling.
a coach. I don't know.
Hey,
I
you
know
know what?
enough to be coach, but I don't know what just happened. That's
Hey,
not
I didn't
good.
think
Coach.
about
Talk
this.
to him. So,
Make that shit
umpire,
up. Let's
Let's
go.
be like Ted Lasso.
Hey, I didn't think about this, Jack. But dude, you got to coach softball. It means you're not going to be at half the baseball games anymore.
Yeah.
I'm saying you lost your second biggest supporter behind
Bad
Kinsley.
day, man.
I
Bad day.
know. Yeah,
Gosh,
Benny, good
damn it.
reference there, though, Benny. That's a good reference.
Yeah. I want the ball. I want the ball.
Hey, we played really hard for for 4 quarters. Like,
Dude,
two halves.
halves.
All right, 2 halves. What I'm talking about.
Great show. Ted Lasso, a great show.
It is a great show. But
All right,
anyway,
boys.
Cobbs, appreciate you, sir. Have a great
Yep.
night. Take
Thank
care
y'all.
of the
See
little
y'all
one.
again.
Yes, sir.
Later.
But continuing on here, obviously we were talking
Bye.
about college football and whatnot, but talking about college football and stuff like that. But I don't know if y'all been paying attention recently, but have y'all seen what has occurred in Tuscaloosa the last
How
few
many
days?
kids have leaving?
Oh,
right?
all the players.
Kids hitting the portals,
Oh.
kids hitting decommitting, and for some reason in my soul, like it's just like it's kind of like there's that one guy that's like, like welcome back to reality, motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like my brother-in-law is like a big Bama fan. You know what I mean? Like my brother-in-law, big Bama fan, and I just said when it happened to save him and stuff like that, I'm like, welcome back to reality, brother. You know what I mean? Because like.
Welcome
I
back.
think they're gonna have success with DeBroy because he's a winner and stuff like that. But like what they had,
His
under
sample
Saban for
size
those
isn't
17
very
years.
big. His
Sure,
sample
but-
size isn't very big.
I understand that, but what they had under Saban for 17 years, like that run, and it was a guy named Josh Pate. I saw it on Eggs, but like he called all those
Josh
fans
Pate
that
Josh Pate college football wise is
yes.
awesome.
Yes. He said, like, if you're a fan that's, like, under 30 for Bama, like, in these last 17 years, he's like he called them trust fund babies. You know what I mean? And it was perfect because all they have known for the most part, you know what I
Is
mean,
winning.
is winning and success. And, like, these guys, like, I feel so sorry for them, like, next year when they go and, like, they don't have the number
You know,
one recruiting class. Like, they got the 8th recruiting class, and they finished 9-3.
Yeah.
God bless the board and what's
I
gonna
don't feel
happen.
bad.
I don't either. But I'm just saying, like,
You're gonna be like, what?
be with the board through all that because it's gonna be so terrible because they're so used to winning, right? They're so used to a certain standard that
Well, he
if
knew
that
what he
standard
was
drops,
doing when he signed up for it.
oh, I agree.
Yeah.
He's
He
got big shoes
knew
to
what
fill.
he was signing up
Big
for.
Far
shoes to
away.
fill.
He's gonna be right in the stadium. Apparently, that's where his office is. So he'll look out and be like,
Imagine walking into that new office and you knew that for the last 17 years, the greatest football coach in college football,
I feel
that
like
was his desk.
I
Well,
would-
fuck,
Imagine that.
Josh.
Two of them. That was
Besides-
their desk.
Besides that, think about this: you walk through the stadium and you pass his fucking statue.
That's true.
be like,
That's true. I know it's just gonna be tough. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to.
Couldn't happen to a nicer guy.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait from the.
I just said his sample. I said his sample size was like this.
Yep.
I get you. He's in the national championship. He was a hot commodity.
Yeah, I
He's
agree.
made the ranks up high.
You know who
and
probably.
I think they'll be okay. But you have a sample size like this compared
Well-
to somebody that's been in the crap for a long time. So I think they'll be okay. But I don't get the logic. But
I think it's kind of like
I'm not a Bama guy.
the dude at Kansas, like Lance Lightpole.
Leopold,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Like he's won he's a winner at Division III, right? And he's kind of the same. Like, okay, well, if he can learn how to scale it and deal with this level, then they've got a winner, right?
Yeah. Which he did all right in Kansas. He
Yeah.
did a decent job.
Yeah,
Like, they were competitive. They weren't like going to win the Big 12 championship, which we know that, but they were competitive. Like,
yeah,
climbing, right, at Kansas State. National championships at the Wazoo with North Dakota State. Leaves North Dakota State, goes to Kansas State, and Kansas State is competitive. Like, and his next big job that shows up, you're going to see a big difference. But Kansas State's competitive. His next big one that's open, he's going to take. Like Big Ten, that's big, and you're going to see him be competitive and relevant, for sure. So that's a big sample size for him. He's been in the business for a long time, and he's done it at FCS and he's done it at FBS. So I can get that. Like Dan Lanning in Oregon, small sample size, but he's at Oregon that is a pretty solid squad. Kirby Smart, dog. Lane Kiffin, big sample size from Lane Kiffin. Everywhere he's gone, besides one spot, he's been good.
yeah.
Like Mike Leach, big sample size,
Yeah.
been good.
I would say this: like when the news of Saban leaving, the happiest person on earth was Smart.
It was Kirby
Kirby Smart, because he knew he was probably licking his chops because he knew like when he left and he
I can
built
get
up
every
Georgia.
Bama player. Yeah.
When he left and built up Georgia, and literally him and Bama, they were going head to head, like a traditional like head to head on everything. And now that guy's gone, Smart must be thinking like, all right, this is my time. I'm about to fucking dominate this shit, and he's gonna dominate.
Like it's my turn now.
Yeah.
I'm going on a 20-year run.
If he dies, he dies.
They're gonna go on a
Yeah,
run.
I agree. I agree with that. Because he's been competitive as hell for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
He recruits,
And the only person that stopped him is who?
Saban.
And the one thing
And
about
Nick Saban's not on the picture no more.
the one thing too about now there's other coaches out there that recruit
It's like what was that old game Risk? What's that old game Risk when you always have that guy that blocks you when you're trying to take over the country? That one little spot that you can't get full control because he's sitting right there. That's Nick Saban to Kirby Smart. Now that guy's off the board.
Oh, and the thing about Kirby Smart that I appreciate about him, because it's one of the things I love about college football, is that this dude is a recruiting fool.
Oh yeah, like but
He's
anyway,
like Mario Cristobal, like, and I'm not trying to put them in the same category, but like those two guys are, yeah, Miami. Let's go. Those two guys they're like, if you could make them a permanent job where they can make $10 million a year, all they would do is recruit, because that's just what they do. And there's some coaches out there that's just not for them.
yeah, they have X and O's. Like they'll tell you like during those clinics and stuff, they're like, hey, that guy's way smarter than me, so I'm gonna let him talk about this. I gotta go get some more players. And then they pull out the cell phone and there they go.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's
true.
That's the lifeblood of college football is recruiting.
That's the life. That's the life. And then some of them are just great transfer portal guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can pick them from the portal.
And it's such a. I feel like
which is so. Look at this. I want this stat, Josh. I don't want it necessarily tonight, but Alabama's new head coach at Washington, right? Were those his recruited players, or were those transfer portal players that got into the national championship?
Well, the biggest one obviously is their quarterback. He's the transfer guy.
Yeah, but he was the quarterback for him at another school,
Indiana,
Illinois, Indiana. Sorry,
but he still transferred over there. It's not like it was like, in a way, it could have been a guy hitter.
With him.
That's my question. Those kids at Washington that he just was in the national championship with, were those ones he recruited, or were they transfer portal kids?
But
the guys Nick Saban had on his stat, the kids Alabama that Nick Saban had at Alabama, were they transfer portal or recruited that he went to the national? He was in the college football playoff with.
Yeah, those were his dudes.
That's what I'm at. That's my question.
So we'd have
Kirby Smart, were those his recruited dudes or those transfer portal guys? And that's my big sample sizes value.
But what those two guys have been able to do, right? And there's maybe a couple others that can maybe fit in that realm towards the edge of it. But when we speak of like Saban and Smart, what those guys did, the way they recruited, the caliber they recruited, was that every year they were the top 2 classes of the year. Not like top 15.
No, one.
Not top 10. They're top 5, top 3 every single year. They're fighting for 1 and 2 every year. So what they did was they stockpiled so much talent on their rosters, and then of course, for the most part, if you have a good culture and you have good coaches and stuff like that, you take all that talent and all you do is you just let that competition fester inside that team. So a lot of times, like when Georgia was on their run of like the last 2 years of being national championships, like their second string guys were just as good as probably what was in front of them and could probably have played anywhere else. You know what I mean? But like you're going against all that all the single time. I remember for Alabama, like those guys consistently are going against the best of the best of the best every single day. And so what does that do for you overall? It just makes you so much better. Whereas you go to somewhere like, for example, say somewhere like a Tennessee, right? To where maybe their starting 11 are good or whatever the case may be, but the guys that they go against in practice are not caliber guys that's going to push them to be, like compared to what maybe a Bama will see or whatnot.
Yeah, that's a big difference too. I agree with that 100%. That's good. That's a good way to get it. But I want you to look at that stat for me. That'll answer my thoughts on things about Alabama.
Oh, for sure. I'll go through and look at it. I know, obviously, I'm gonna be curious to see, like, because obviously, the quarterback was at Indiana when DeBoer was there as an OC, but like, I want to go back and look to see at their history whether he recruited him there, or if it's like did he inherit him and work with him and they had a good relationship that they decided to carry that over to Washington, and then look at the Washington roster as well to see if how many of those guys were.
We can do the same thing for Harbaugh, but I think a lot of Harbaugh's guys were recruited.
Yeah, I think a lot of the Michigan guys have been there through
3
obviously, I
years.
think some of these teams have a guy or two that they got through the portal. Like I know Bama for sure. They have a receiver Burton that was a guy that started off at Georgia, and then transferred over to Bama. But for the most part, a lot of those guys were straight guys that they recruited, developed, and were their dudes.
That's gonna answer my logic.
Yeah, but I think the same thing too. Like obviously Bama was down this year, but what I'm going
Were
to be
they down?
curious
Were they really down?
compared to previous Bama teams.
Compared to what they do, yeah.
Based on the standard that they set, I think they were. I think they just happened to be playing good football at a time, and they got Georgia on a bad day and beat them in an SEC championship game. And I think we saw more of a true representation of the Bama team when they played Michigan this year, in my opinion. Like we didn't see the same Bama team that played against Georgia that played against Michigan. And I'm pretty sure we can all agree here. I think Jack, you and I talked about it, but like if Georgia was in the playoffs, I think Georgia would have been national champion. That's my take. That's my take on it. I think they were the best team.
Over Michigan?
I think so.
Hmm.
That's my
That's
take.
interesting. I think it was just Michigan's time to shine. I think they were just the team of destiny.
No, I think
it's like
I think
Joe
they
Burrow.
def-
Joe Burrow and that year they went was the same kind of thing.
No,
But I could see your take.
Now I definitely see that Michigan. They probably saw like, hey, we're playing against Bama. A lot of people were saying like, oh shit, you got Bama based on name, but when they saw what they had, it's like, hey, we can match up with these guys. We got confidence. We know what we're doing. And then of course they get Washington, which credit to Washington the season they had, but it's not like they're playing.
Yeah. Shout
It's
out
not like they're
Washington.
playing.
They surprised me.
It's not like they're playing another SEC school. And the way Michigan's built, like it's just the Big Ten and SEC. The way the top teams in those conferences build their teams is different than what other teams in the nation how they build their teams. I
Yes,
mean, like
I would agree with that.
it's more of like that old school stuff. Like I'm sure like Cleet can even chime in here, but like the way Bama and Georgia and Michigan builds their team and how they want to control.
It's
How do they
up
want to do it,
front.
Cleet?
Up front.
Up front, right? They want to have they're going to control their line of scrimmage.
Traditionally, the SEC is traditionally, offensive line, defensive line. That's the line of scrimmage is what makes that league just head and shoulders above everyone else. Everyone has skill guys, but it's the O line, D linemen that make that league what it is, and it has made that league, the premier league in college football.
I think I think you're right. I think a big difference too was Michigan's O line and D line were bigger.
Yeah.
Than everything.
Well,
like Michigan, they were. I don't know. They were bigger than SEC's. They were bigger than Alabama's.
Michigan's O line was also the 2-time Joe Moore Award winner.
But they lost it this year.
I know, but I
they
think
lost
they
it
should
to who?
Washington, but I think they should have won it by the national
Michigan
championship.
Won it.
Yeah,
Michigan
three years in a row. That's what I'm saying.
But they gave it
Josh, you know what the Joe Moore Award is?
Yes, for the best offensive line unit.
Okay, just making sure.
I know what it is. Hey, I got one. So Jack gave us kind of a thing to look at. I'm going to give one for Jack. Even Cleet can hop in because they're both O-line guys. But like, go back and look at the last 10, 15 years, the national championships, and look at teams and where they finished in terms of their rushing attack. And if they were the ones that basically ended up on top. So like, if you will, go back and look at the last 15 national title winners and where they finished in rushing attack. And I would like to take, if you will, or my opinion, is that those teams finished in the top 10 in rushing.
That won the national championship, finished top 10 in rushing.
Yep. Just to illustrate y'all's point about up front, but then also having a really good run game.
I agree with that. I'll take that take with you.
The 19 LSU
I'm down
team,
said they're top 5.
The 19 LSU teams, the only one I could think of top of my head that may not be top 10, just because they slung the rock a lot that year.
who was their running back? Oh gosh, who was that? It was that guy that was really
Player, right?
who?
Didn't they have Edwards Alaire on that team?
Yep.
Yeah. Was it okay, I'm also thinking of the other guy that went to the Commanders but then fizzled out. And his name was like Juice or something like that. Was like the guy
Oh, man.
after he was like the guy after the guy you just mentioned, Benny, that was like their stud. I think his name was like Juice or something like that.
Edwards
But
Hilaire. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I'm gonna double down and say they're at least top 5.
they had to have a good run. I know their passing game was dynamic. They had to have a good run. Because they had a really good offense. Because their offensive lineman that year, Cleek, won what?
Joe Moore.
Joe Moore, I believe.
So we're going 08 Florida. Is that right?
That's rushing.
Yeah.
That's Timmy Tebow, baby.
Where did they
No, that's
finish?
Chris Leak. That's Chris Leak.
Where did they finish run game wise?
08
This might take a minute. I don't know if we want to wait.
Florida
Oh no.
Gators.
All right, just do the last 5.
That's
We
fine.
can-
4. That's 3.
Damn it.
What about
I would say yes, because that's what Chris
That's-
Leak was the quarterback. They had Rainey at running back.
So that's if it's last 5, we're going LSU, Bama, Georgia, Michigan. Right?
Really,
Last 4, yeah.
Georgia Tech, baby.
Let's see. 2019 LSU offense ranking. Let's see.
that? That was 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
Oh,
they do.
I know. I had one this morning. It was rough.
Ooh, let's see. Ooh, Miami got fucking spanked.
Oh, that's what okay.
Texas Tech's getting spanked, dude, Joshua.
Yeah.
The Heat lost to Toronto 121-97. They're not even. They don't have nobody.
Rushing.
There. Shout out to the Heat, baby.
Yeah.
All right, Cletus, come on, stats. This
I'm-
supposed to be faster.
Yeah,
we can
I'm
look this up later. Hit us on the group chat. We'll talk about it next week.
We'll talk about it tomorrow.
I'll
We'll
go
be
back.
texting.
I'll look at the last 15 and see.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious too. Like I said, the 19 LSU teams, the only one I can think of the last 5 years that may not fit that category.
I remember for the people that are
Oh,
listening
how
that want to maybe
like the
fact check
one
it,
that
I'm saying
I'm
top
not interested.
10. Jack doubled down to top 5, so we're both we're in it.
Okay, top 7 is that better? Top 5.
I said, well, I mean, the only one that's like fishing to me, it's not going to be that LSU team. It's going to be Clemson.
Yeah, I was when you were kind of talking about maybe
Clemson first one, Deshaun. With Deshaun Watson, I would say that one. Because the one with Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne.
Yeah.
So, but Watson's Clemson would be.
Benny,
but that one was solid.
What's that?
Benny, you good or what?
Dog.
You gas yourself or what?
Yeah, we got these dogs over. We're in a dog pound.
You got the dog, the Paw Patrol over there lighting it up.
Yeah. Oh, they're around too. You can't see them. They're all over here.
All 10 of them.
Look, there's like 2 right there.
Let me see.
Oh, wow.
Then you got the Chow right here, and Sparky's in the door.
So, let's see. So,
when he get him going, he's going. When he's going, he goes.
okay. So this is last as of January 7th, 2019.
Okay.
Okay. LSU is not in the top 10.
In rushing?
Yep. It is Georgia Tech, Army, Air Force, Memphis, Navy, Wisconsin, Georgia Southern, UCF, Ohio, Clemson. That's your top 10 that year.
Where did they finish?
I'm looking. I'm in the 30s and I haven't seen them yet.
Damn.
I'm in the
Well, then with that take,
not in the They were not in the top 50.
No way. Top 50
They're-
for rushing off. No, they were fucking very good in the past game. They were probably didn't have.
That's what I'm saying.
Wow. We were way off. Samsonite.
Oh,
Well, I'm sure at least 75% of those teams, Jack, were top 10. Yeah, I mean, somewhere in there it works out.
Well, then what that take just
Yeah,
like our hairlines,
We
boys.
we couldn't even wait till next week's episode. We decided to just drop
Yeah,
a
just
bomb on
he
us
just
right
had
now.
a killer vibe. Way to kill the vibe, Cletus.
Yeah,
You know,
you'll get over it.
it's boys. It's clinic season for some of us. Some of us it's our second or third
y'all-
sports.
Y'all,
Enjoy it.
y'all going to
Always
clinics
take nuggets.
anytime?
Yes, we're
Next week.
we're going DFW and I-20.
Yeah.
Come on down to one of them, Cletus. You're always welcome.
There.
Yeah,
Hey, best
I'm
ball
going
is
to
always
the.
at the table on a napkin.
Yeah.
The best ball is always locked when you're hanging out with Benny Blake.
I don't know about that, brother.
Benny, you gonna be out
Um,
there or what?
Yeah, no, we're going to the DFW clinic and then
Go.
at the Glacier clinic too. So
There
Yeah,
you go.
but
We're going. Me and our head coach. We're going to the South Plains in Lubbock, which
Oh,
should,
nice.
this
should be.
weekend. Me and Josh.
Yeah,
me and
it
Josh
should
were
be
gonna
pretty
go
good.
to it, but other sports came in the way. Me and Josh were thought about going.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it won't be too bad. So we'll see.
I want to go that one. So to make up for that, we're going
Enjoy it. Take some nuggets.
DFW, then I-20. But anyway, let's go.
Take some nuggets. If you find anything good for us, let
I
us
will.
know. If anything,
Yeah.
I am. Just so you know, I am looking at Michigan's tape against Washington. Sorry, Benny, and I am scripting it out what they did with their tackle over, tight end, nasty fullback stuff. It's pretty dirty stuff.
I'm happy.
It's pretty
I'm
dirty
happy.
stuff. I got it. I got pretty excited when I saw some of it. But I am looking at some of that stuff. It's pretty exciting.
All on me. I am fine. I don't care if
Yeah.
you can tackle over as long as you do not get vertical passes on me. We are fine, right? For you,
Well, there's some. I didn't
I'm just-
even pass.
underneath your pew, there's going to be like a case of beer, right? You're like, what is it? I don't know.
I bet he still for.
I brought a case of water. It's the second coming of Jesus. I don't know what to tell you.
Wow.
Well, take nuggets, boys. It was good talking to you. Always
Oh yeah.
be good. Be good. Be the light. If you can be the light tomorrow, make sure you're the light to somebody. Great job holding down the fort while I was eating dinner with the wife because she made a delicious dinner.
Let's
Yeah.
go. Shout out to
Shout
Hannah,
out.
baby.
Shout out. Hope Cletus's better half is doing well. I didn't get to hear any new details about her. Hope she's doing well. Benny, I
She
hope
is.
your better
We're-
half's doing well.
Oh yeah.
And Josh, I hope your better half's doing well.
All doing well.
Oh, you're ambidextrous now.
What are you talking about?
In the words of Chris
Everything's
Webber,
good.
amphibious, y'all. Amphibious.
Amphibious. Hey, as always, it's a pleasure to have you all on to talk, to catch up throughout the week, to bust each other's chops, all that fun stuff. Talk about sports, which is all what we love to do. Obviously, we podcast is something we talked about doing for a long time. Being able to do it is such an honor and a blessing to do it all the time. So, guys, appreciate the time. And just like Jack said, always remember, be in the light. Peace and love, baby.
Yep.